What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 34 of the best fucking podcast on the internet. This is the pre-patch podcast. How's everybody doing tonight?
We good.
I'm doing good.
That's great.
We're supposed to be talking now.
Yeah, we're supposed to be talking.
Is that how this works?
Bill.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, I like
We
got that.
getting real close.
That
How you
voice,
guys
bro.
doing, man?
Hey,
Ooh, I'm getting the tingles, baby. Ooh.
Yeah, Bill's got the voice for this. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Wake the fuck up. It's time for number 34
Woo.
of this amazing podcast. This one got away from me, man. I don't know, man. I thought it was yesterday was supposed to be the podcast day. Then I got like, I don't know. It's just this one I feel like came really quick. Last one I feel like it took forever. This one came like
This
That's
one came
what
quick.
She said.
Oh,
especially with me.
Got him.
got him.
Anyway, welcome in everybody that is live with us. Whether you're in my channel, whether you're in Bill's channel, whether you are in Scruffy's channel, or whether it's YouTube or Twitch, welcome the fuck in. Soon we hope to be having Enigma streaming, right? Like,
Yeah, I'll do it next. I'll do it next. I forgot to set up the
You good.
podcast settings. So
Yep.
Sweet. We'll have a
But,
four-way then.
hell
Wait.
yeah.
Yeah. never mind.
So
mind.
quick starting out with a quick joke, right? So speaking of four ways, right?
Oh.
They call when you have two people doing it, right? It's called a threesome. Right? Two people plus you.
Plus you.
When you have three people plus you, it's called a foursome. And then, so what do they call it when it's just you? A handsome.
You're dumb.
I thought you were gonna say a lonesome.
No, I mean that could work.
That
too.
that would work too. But handsome, I like that. I like that.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
We're already derailing, boys.
Jesus Christ. We have like this is legitimately.
Or are
like,
we
one-
getting derailed?
We have the most
Oh
topics to
my
talk about
goodness.
we've had in a long time, and we're already derailing. And
Bro, that's just we really just need to change the fucking name of the podcast to Derail Podcast.
derailed.
Yeah.
Welcome to derailed. Well, anyway, guys, if you are chatting with us live, welcome in. If you're not listening to us live and you are listening to us on Spotify and or YouTube, you can hit exclamation. Well, you can come and join us live. We do this every other weekend. Or God, fuck me, man. I am reset.
Woo.
Welcome to episode number 34.
Do I have to do my joke again?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we do this every other Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So you can join us live. Like I said, it's on my stream here over on YouTube. It's on Bill's and Scruffy's stream over on Twitch. Or, like I said, you can estimation more podcasts on all of the channels, and it will show you the link that you can download it and listen to it on Spotify. So,
Heck yeah.
without further ado, we got to go. Legitimately, we have 10 topics to fully try to get through, and there's a lot. Here.
That's gonna be tough.
We can do it, man. We can do it.
Gotta be tough.
Great. It'd be great. So let's kick it off. I have to say, round of applause. This is, I think, a first. I don't think we've had this happen yet. There is no Twitch drama. There is no YouTube drama that is that's out there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of crazy. But for the first time in a long time, it's not happened. We have no drama. So the one thing I just wanted to ask, this is a quick question. We don't have to go like super in depth long about it. But do you think banning is effective? Do you think banning on Twitch, whether it's a short ban, whether it's a long ban, whether it's a perma ban, do you think it's effective?
Yeah, no. I don't know. I think it depends definitely on the situation and the ban in like length and speak. I think short bans that are like repetitive, I think aren't, because I think they're like, if you just keep getting banned for short periods of time, I'm like, I don't think the person really cares, obviously. But I think there needs to be a point where it's like just a full on like long length ban or perma ban to really put a point across to make it effective. But
do you think it curtails bad behavior?
I don't think
Like,
so too much.
Is any person going to change because they?
I believe a lot in like people really don't change. They really bring out their colors, and I don't think a ban's really gonna change that. I think they'll find other resources to, stream on if that really comes with the case, and just keep doing the same thing they've been doing. Just find that outlet where they can do that and be allowed to do that.
I mean, it comes off of the stuff that obviously I think it was Destiny got permabanned, or no, he got banned again. They didn't permaban him or
Yeah,
whatever
it's
else.
only like a week ban or something.
I know was not his. This one was not his fault. It was someone that was on his show, and whatever. But it's just that's not the first time that he's been banned.
I was about to say, I like how we have to preface that with this time it wasn't his fault.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jay, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that
that's
happens a lot. It's not always the
But-
streamer's fault where they get banned.
See, that's a prime example of does it actually make people change? No,
No.
clearly not.
No, I don't think so.
right. I mean, oh, go ahead.
Good.
I think there's situations where it is good. I feel like the longer length bans, like especially for bigger streamers that are partnered and whatnot, if it hits them directly in the wallet and stuff, then that is going to be a little bit more incentive to cross your T's and dot your I's next time, I feel. And then with the permaban situation, obviously it go find another platform and do whatever you want. I know there have been several people that have gotten permaban and tried to start up on other platforms, and they are still doing okay, but nowhere near what they were on Twitch itself.
Mm-hmm.
We talking dog?
Primarily, but there's a few others.
I don't know, man.
I don't think Doc's
Doc's
doing too bad,
Doc's
honestly.
doing
Great,
well.
man.
Yeah.
Doc's doing really well over there.
Yeah.
But there's some choice situations where I feel like if you're planning on keeping somebody on the platform, because permabans work, obviously. If you don't want somebody on the platform, permaban, they're gone.
Yeah.
That's a done deal. There's no questions about that. But with these like short bans, like 4 days, week bans, I don't feel like, unless that person is a larger streamer where their entire income is coming off of streaming specifically, and they don't have like YouTube or anything like that else where they're also bringing in revenue, it's you have to hit people where they actually care, and most people's care is in their wallet. So and then the shorter you get on the bans, I feel like people almost go about it just for the publicity of getting banned for something outrageous and
That's
stuff.
what I
just
was
to get
gonna
their
bring
name
up.
starting to circulate.
Exactly, because a ban can do a lot of things. Like what I was gonna say for Doc is, honestly, the ban I think that happened helped him in his case, because it brought up so much, publicity and like just questioning around why he got banned, and I think that just put his name out there like 10 times more. So I think a ban can go a lot of ways to help and also not help, but I still don't think a lot of people will change for being banned.
I think you look at people like Amaranth and shit when they get banned. It seems like it's just kind of, at least for the temporary bans, it's just kind of like a forced vacation.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a shit. They're getting enough money off of their offsite, meditate or their offsite bullshit. Mediation.
I feel like they should do something similar to what YouTube does with like content creators in the video circuit that get like too many strikes. I feel like there should be a 2 or 3 like mini bans and you're out type situation. Like put some more weight behind it. Like, yeah, you're only getting banned for 4 days, but if you get banned for 4 days 2 more times, we're kicking you off the platform.
Yeah.
So that people don't continue to repeat whenever their new name starts dropping, their viewer count starts dropping. Then they're like, okay, I'm just gonna show a little bit of a little nip, you know what I mean? And
That
then,
way,
boom, back in the headlines.
Yeah, it won't reinforce like getting banned for publicity at that point, because you're like, well, I can't do that,
Did Disguised Toast get permabanned off Facebook? Or
Who?
is it Disguised Toast? Because he was one that they bought.
No, they didn't get permabanned. I think he just got banned.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know what it was.
It was a slap on the wrist situation.
Yeah,
because again, it was like the Destiny thing. It wasn't something specifically that he did. It was something that he was playing with that they did.
It was an old clip of his that he played. So technically it was him, but it just,
I don't know. I think bans in general, like, unless it's a situation where like you're basically saying, I guess realistically the permaban kind of situation, I don't see anybody really actively changing. I mean, we look at someone like Ice Poseidon, right? Like Ice Poseidon was, I think, a really good example. I mean, he's just a complete dick and through. You know what I mean? And I mean,
he has changed though, genuinely. Like his at least content wise, he has toned things down
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't
significantly.
know if that was because of his bans or if that was because of the death threats that he was getting.
And the
People like
swatting
actually.
and
I mean, a little column A, little column B. Regardless, the dude did change, and he's actually got some like pretty like decent content that's not like out of anybody's expense. He genuinely has like shifted his content spectrum, and he's not doing nearly as well as he used to, but he's still getting by.
the worst
Well, I
thing
think
with that though is like he might have changed, but his community will never change. His community will always stay that kind of toxicity, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and he
Yeah.
drawed that in the past, and I don't think he's gonna lose that now. I think they're gonna linger.
Yeah,
So.
no,
Yeah.
it's well. I mean, I think it's like any of those guys that do that kind of. I mean, that meme style. You know, when that's the community that you have, it's I mean, well, that's it. I mean, I think anything.
What you put out is what you're gonna get back. Is pretty much what that came down to.
I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it. I mean, it was something that came up, and I was thinking about just whether or not bands are actually, and it does not necessarily just in Twitch. I mean, we like, Chad's talking about Tyler One and everything else.
Yeah.
Like,
The way that I look at it on Twitch is the Twitch bans have become such a meme as of late. I mean, we've all made the meme of it's the dice roll. If you're gonna get a perma ban, or if you're gonna get a fucking slap on the wrist, it's
Yeah.
they call their local DM for Dungeons and Dragons. They're like, hey, this guy fucked up. Roll a d20. Anything past 10, he's fucking perma banned. It's shit like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was confidential, man. I thought that was, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, I don't know. It's like I said, it was just something that came up. I want to talk about, and whether, like I said, whether it's gaming or not. I mean, I think Tyler One.
I did.
came back up fucking shit.
I did have some stuff about Twitch. It's not necessarily Twitch drama, but did you guys see that Bezos sold like 3 billion or 3 million or something like that of Amazon stock?
I didn't see that.
He's like cashing
No, I
out.
didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
Weird.
Did not see that at all. But yeah, I feel like if they're going to continue with the route that they're going, they need to do like I genuinely feel like a weighted system to the bans would be the best route. Like have like a strike system where we're going to time you out for this amount of time, and this is going to put a strike on your account, and once you hit so many strikes.
Would you say that the strikes should be like indefinite or just a long period of time? Because I don't think they should be indefinite.
No, I don't think
Strikes
anything
on
should
YouTube
be.
are a year, aren't they? Yeah,
Yeah,
Is it a
I
year?
feel like I honestly copy pasta
Yeah.
the YouTube strike system and bring it to Twitch. I feel like that would be great.
I think
feel
that
like
would be
that
good.
would really slow down a lot of the more like risky humor, the more disrespectful and like the racism, homophobic stuff like out there. I feel like it could potentially cut down on some of the IRL streamers doing whatever they need to do.
Do
to
you
get
do you
by.
think that I honestly don't think Twitch will do this though. I mean I think because they don't I feel like they won't want to follow their own rules because obviously they know where the money's at.
Their current ones.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean I don't think they're gonna do this because I mean if they do implement it, they would probably have to follow it. They would have to do like whatever the 3 strikes and you're out or whatever. But I don't think they want to do that because their moneymakers are the ones that are getting these bans, these warnings, and all the not.
Not necessarily. Like I know there's a ton of like small time streamers or streamers that are like just like into partner level that are trying to boost their numbers that I feel like use the ban system as a way to publicize. I don't think it's typically the like top like 5% of Twitch that's like actively seeking out.
If
like,
this was
doing
implemented, do you?
The Amaranth would be gone.
Do you
there's
think
a
they
few
would protect
outliers.
those though? Do you think they would, rather than ban them,
100%.
they would protect them so they wouldn't get threatened by the system?
100%.
I feel like if Twitch is going to do something now is like the good time to go about this stuff because they did just lose that lawsuit to ex streamer Phantom Lord over them not following their ban system properly.
Yeah.
I've been deep diving into that whole thing, and they lost on all counts of that lawsuit. It was originally like a $32 million suit, and he ended up coming out with like 20K from it. But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The biggest reason that I think, like from what I've read on that suit, is it wasn't like they didn't lose because they banned him. wrongly. It's just they didn't follow their procedures. They didn't give proper notice ahead of time. They didn't go through X, Y, and Z. They just kind of like pulled the plug on him without like
Didn't
giving
he?
proper insight onto why he was getting banned and like a way of him to counteract before the ban actually pulled.
In that lawsuit too, didn't he go after, or didn't they go after? And I don't know what they ruled on it or whatever else, but basically that fair treatment, kind of, it's like the fair. It's there's some act, but it's basically a fair treatment act saying that hey, you're basically cherry picking who you're banning these people, and there's no like, even though your guidelines say this, this, and this, you're not following through. This
Yeah,
person's not getting the same ban as
that
that
that was
person.
it. Yeah, that was in there, and they lost on that. They lost in every count that was brought up by uh Phantom Lord's legal team. They didn't win on a single point.
And I mean,
So
look, you've got DJ Wheat. I mean, I hate to say, it, but I mean, he called out like, he was blasting out somebody on Twitter, because they were talking about the hot tub streams, and and basically these hot tub streams were getting, um, carousel. They were being on the carousel, on the top of Twitch, and it's like, hey, why don't you do something about this? He's like, I'm not gonna talk about this, blah blah blah, and then like in a stream was just like, we're not gonna talk about it. It's like, dude, you obviously there's an issue here. Like, people are, talking about it, and now it's being surfaced to the top carousel. Like, that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, you need to like shit needs to get tightened up. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not a problem
You
on
know,
their
they
end. They make a ton
actually
of money.
did you guys see the Twitch's Let's Chat stream? They actually did mention the hot tub genre of streams on that, and the guy who
no,
was
I didn't
running,
catch that.
was
I
that
I
DJ Week was running it?
I didn't catch the name because I only saw really a clip. But it was obviously some staff member or somebody who worked with Twitch, and he did mention he was like, these hot tub streams are obviously a popular thing right now and everything. And they're like, but with our regulations or whatever, and our dress code, and they're actually under, what a fair use or
That's
whatever. And it's like, unless they do anything that like suggests sexual content, I'm like, have you watched them? Like,
right. Well, so I actually, surprisingly enough, I will say, give props. I actually reported one of them, and they got banned. Well, they got disciplined. I don't know what that means.
yeah, it's okay. Maybe they're under dress code, but do you see what they're
They're
doing on
not.
the stream?
Actually, they're not under dress code. So if you actually take a look at what
Is bikinis on there? I haven't looked at it.
it's not bikinis.
It's as long as they're not showing nipple.
Majority of them are wearing underwear, and underwear is not allowed on Twitch.
Well, then in that case, yeah, I've only seen ones that obviously they've been wearing bikinis and swimwear. But still, it
What is
doesn't
it?
matter. It's what they do is like it's definitely sexual. I was watching an Asmongold video and like direct reference from Asmongold when he was talking about them. He was like, "So you're gonna take this? All right, now imagine if it were a 13-year-old girl doing this. What would it be?" That's obviously people would turn the wrong way. It would be banned. It would be out of there. And it's like the same thing with these older, women who are doing it.
Well, I hate to continue bringing up Amaranth, but like you got Amaranth riding a giant fucking banana in a very
Exactly a provocative way. I mean, that's just what it's gonna be. It's
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah, it was something that came up, and I wanted to talk about. So
Yeah.
Moving on to the next topic, what we are playing. This is actually a pretty heavy topic. We've got a lot to talk about. We have been even today we were playing something new. The group was playing something new, but there's a lot on the table, man. We've got Returnal with Bill, Hood on our end. We've got GTFO. I feel like there's other stuff too that I feel like I'm missing out on that I have also been playing as well. And the Apex new season, all of that kind of good stuff. So let's kick it off. Returnal. I want to hear about it. I want to know your thoughts. I watched your playthroughs. I've watched your videos, Bill. I've got some thoughts about it, but I want to hear kind of right from you, man. What how is it? What do you think?
First things first, it's a $70 roguelike, so take that as you will.
It's $70.
That's a pretty hefty.
Yeah, it's one of the
70
new
bucks.
PlayStations.
It's a Sony published game, and all of Sony's published titles are going to be going
First
as
party,
$70.
Yeah,
They're going to be
that's
going
nuts.
as $70 titles. So keep that in mind. It is a roguelike that is 70 bucks, and typically most roguelikes out on the market are in the indie
like
developers.
30,
so
man.
they
cheap.
sit around 30,
Yeah.
40 at most. That being said, this is an extremely high quality product. The gameplay is top notch. The only issues technically that I've had with the game is every time I start the game up initially, the first door that you walk up to won't open for whatever reason. Like
Huh.
if I just fire up the game, start it up, go, it's as easy as
Is that out of
going
free mode,
to.
or is that out of regular mode?
This is out of like the console
Cold.
shut down. I booted up. Yeah.
Cold.
So every time I've done that, it won't let me open the front door. There's a like little vendor thing where you can give a resource to get new artifacts and stuff. That won't let me. It just won't let you interact with anything. But it's as simple as just going in, hitting restart cycle, which with the SSD takes like 5 seconds, and then everything works fine. That's the only issue I've ever had. I haven't had any crashes. I haven't had any stutters. I haven't had any errors whatsoever with the game. It runs smooth 60 FPS all the way through. Um, Gameplay loop is pretty decent from what I have experienced so far. I'm just now getting into like the end game part of it. So how it is broke up is in 2 acts. The first act goes through a jungle biome into a desert biome into a like mech run city, and then in Act 2 it is a different jungle biome into an ice biome into deep water, like you're diving underneath the water, and the underwater actually changes like the physics of the game, how you jump, how you move, and stuff like that.
Did they patch in the ability that you can save mid run? Because I know one of the things that people were kind of upset about was like you go to, it's 2 hours. Some of these things last 2 hours. You can't save mid run.
Both my Act 1 and Act 2 run have been 3-hour runs. So
Are you able to save?
Damn.
no,
in between?
nope.
Oof.
No save function as of right now. You can rest mode it and go into it from there. But if something happens to the console and the console shuts down, then the run is lost. It resets you.
I've heard there's a save glitch right now too. I don't know exactly what that like entails, but I can only assume that people have been losing their saves because I seen one just like a picture. Yeah,
Like losing their like
progress.
their runs all,
Yeah,
like their progress altogether. I haven't experienced that. I haven't actually seen any of that either.
I just
but
saw
I
like
wouldn't be
something on.
surprised.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of save glitch where like it just deletes their progress. I'm like, oh damn,
That's
that needs to be patched like ASAP.
I mean, considering the shape that a lot of these AAA titles are coming out as, this is like an amazing breath of fresh air as
Yeah.
far as its stability and stuff goes.
That's
You
good.
get $70 worth of disability or stability, not disability.
Disability.
That is yet to be seen. I'm curious to see how the end game of it all goes.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying that there's been situations with progress being lost. Is that you haven't run into that, right? You said that.
I have not. No.
I just saw
no
something on
progress being
Twitter about
lost.
that. A few people were having that.
I can imagine that would happen if like something happens like while you're in mid run and like the console shuts down like out of nowhere, like say you get a power surge or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like save issues.
like
They do. With the length that the runs of this game take, a save function would be necessary, but I feel like on the other hand, it kind of goes against the
A roguelike
feel of a roguelike. And what I will say is this is different from any roguelike that I have played in the fact that I don't get that one more run vibe. Like once I've gotten past like 20 minutes into a run, I'm pretty committed at that point. Whereas 20 minutes into most other roguelike runs is like to the halfway point. This is like just getting started.
Yeah.
And losing 2 hours worth of progress, it's one of those things where I'm more likely to take a break from it than
pretty
jump into one.
demoralizing after that.
Just because of that time commitment.
Yeah.
You've finished a run, right?
I finished 2. I finished both.
How quick are they then?
3 hours each.
That's
is that how long it's taking you, or is that like pretty much a average?
How many acts are there as well?
There's 2 acts. Once you beat Act 2, you can go back and forth between Act 1, Act 2, and then the end game is finding specialized artifacts in each of those acts to unlock the final boss and the final endings.
Oh, I don't know about that for $70, bro.
So here's what I'll say. Like watching the gameplay looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like
it does look good.
Yeah.
I will admit it does. The gameplay looks smooth as shit from what I've been watching you play.
It honestly is one of those things where like I am hoping this is one of the games that would come to PC, but I don't think it's going to. But like it definitely is like checks off saying, okay, like I would like if PS5s became cheaper or whatever else, like this would be on a list of games I would want to play and things of that nature. But that like I understand the whole idea behind a roguelike, but what like I don't even know if I would consider this like okay, I don't think it's I don't think it's a it is
It it
a
it
Souls
is a
like either.
roguelike. No, there's honestly, I get very little Souls feel from it other than the difficulty
What
factor.
about Remnant Fuel?
What the,
It's
mm,
so the way I've been describing it to anybody that's come in asking about it is compare it to Remnant from the Ashes. If Remnant from the Ashes is Dark Souls, then this is Bloodborne. It's just got a faster pace to the combat.
Yeah.
The weapons are more nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like micro features in this game that keep you engaged with it. Like you get your standard roguelike aspects with like artifact pickup, where things that you pick up will enhance your run. There is the parasite system where if you choose to attach a parasite, there is a plus and a minus that goes along with those. There are chests and items in the game that are infected with malignancy, where if you pick it up, it's a dice roll on whether you're going to get a debuff, and those debuffs um, are pretty debilitating, but they can be removed by doing a certain action in the game. Say you get a debuff where if you're at max health, you're doing 50% less damage, but you can get rid of this debuff by killing X amount of enemies or opening a locked door or something along those lines.
yeah.
No.
I guess the thing that to me leans it away from being a roguelike and why I think that they should implement the mid save system or some kind of save system
I'm
is the fact
100% for the save function. By the way, I'm not wanting to
yeah, yeah,
argue
yeah.
against that.
No. I know, but I'm saying it. I think that it because of that length, like I think it loses some of that roguelike kind of stuff. Because the roguelike thing is like you die, you come back, you die, you come back, which obviously this is what that is, but it's like, okay, I made a run. I can, I like for
You're
me
not
playing
so committed in most roguelikes. Obviously,
well,
there's some sort of commitment with like really good runs in roguelikes. But I mean, you
right.
die, you're like, all right, that's another one, you know?
Yeah. And like kind
So
of this reminds me of a bullet like a bullet hell style, I don't know, punishment game.
So it's 100% roguelike. I'm
Yeah.
not going to argue against that. The thing that elongates the runs on this is to be able to get a run cracking build going. The game heavily encourages you to do a shit ton of exploration in each and every area. They want you to go through all of the side paths. They want you to look through every single thing that you can find to continue upgrading your build towards endgame. And that's something where I think a lot of roguelikes don't do that. A lot of roguelikes are either extremely linear, one room to the next, to the next, to the next with the procedural generation, or they have some sort of like speed run feature where if you get to this point in the run by X amount of time, it'll unlock like a bonus room where you can get a whole bunch of stuff to make that speed run through worth it. This game doesn't have anything like that as of yet. Um, and just by the nature of the game, it's intended to be a slow burner type run. They want you to constantly be shifting your gear. They want you to constantly be shifting your weapon. You only get one weapon at a time. So if you pick up one weapon and you're really vibing with that weapon, but then you get another weapon that is a higher star level, but you have to unlock some stuff with it. By
So
using that weapon, you will unlock new traits for that weapon class.
Are those
And
permanent?
yeah, once you've used the weapon, so it'll be grayed out on the weapons bar, and it'll have a percentage that you need to do, and you increase that percentage by killing things with that weapon. Once you get that percentage up to 100%, that is now officially a random rule that you can get on that weapon class.
So,
Say you take the shotgun and it starts off regular, but it's got a locked thing for explosive shells. So whenever you kill so many enemies with that, it'll unlock the explosive shells for that weapon, and then in future shotguns that you picked up, there's a chance that explosive shells will be something that will be on those weapons in the future.
so that's permanent. And then, is there any other like aspects to the game that are permanent throughout your runs? Like if you die and you repeat?
Yes. So if you proceed far enough in each of the biomes, it's got a Metroidvania-esque aspect with it where there are permanent like mobility upgrades. So the first thing you'll push forward through in the very first area will unlock the sword for you. The sword allows you to knock down energy barriers and cut through like vine areas that'll open up different paths. You keep pushing through, you get to the next area, you get a grapple hook. Those are all, once you get them, they are permanent. And with like consecutive runs after that, there'll be something that you saw in your first run through that you weren't able to get to until you got the grapple hook. Now you have the grapple hook, it opens up more side paths for you to enhance your build.
So I mean, not a big difference, but I mean, this is sounding more towards the line of a roguelite than with like these permanent, because these permanent like upgrades kind of sound pretty huge, like run changing sometimes with like especially getting to
Yeah.
new areas that might have more stuff to enhance your run.
Yeah, and there's also like deep side paths, like invisible walls and stuff that you can shoot through, and it'll open up a side path. And at the end of there might be a data cube. If you can get to if you can get to a main boss, beat that main boss, you can input that data cube. It permanently unlocks a new artifact for you.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the I knew Housemark. I'd heard that name before. And I think once I start listing off some of these games that they have made, I think it will make sense as to why they chose the style of game that they chose with Returnal. So they are the creators of Stardust, Super Stardust, all the Stardust, Stardust HD, Stardust Delta, which is a bullet hell style game, right? You
Right.
also have Dead Nation, which is another bullet
Oh,
hell.
I remember that game.
You have um really, I mean, it's that. I mean,
They're,
those
I
are
think this is their first
oh,
third-person shooter. I think they're more about isometrics, aren't
and
they?
Yeah,
Resogun. They did Resogun as well,
heard of
which
that.
was Resogun's really good. Next they did Next Machina as well on PS4, which was if I'm not mistaken, I think Next Machina was also another bullet hell style game. Yeah, it's an arcade twin stick shooter. So it makes sense that this is their style. Like it is a bullet hell, like it really
It's a
is.
3D bullet hell. Yeah,
Right.
there's so many projectiles that you're actively dodging
Right.
at one
But
time.
you had that like it seemed like a bullet hell when you had that. Oh, you clipped it. It was that one where you went fucking insane.
Yeah, the maniacal laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
There
one
was
of the
just
bosses.
bullets everywhere, and you were
There's
jumping over
bullets
like AOE's
everywhere.
and shit.
Yeah, there's waves on the ground that you have to jump over. And I also, this last run that I figured out, there like the color of the projectile matters. So if it's a red projectile, you can dash through it. If it's a blue projectile, you cannot.
Interesting.
And I don't remember
So
what
that's
the
like
yellow
Cuphead, right?
projectiles do.
Yeah.
It's like a Cuphead feature.
If Bill, I want you to go at some point, and maybe while we're talking about the next thing, go look at I don't know if you remember Next Machina. Go look at Next Machina. If you look at Next Machina and look at like the first two videos that are on there, that Next Machina looks like a top-down version of what Returnal would be. So if Next Machina, you were basically tilt that camera down into a third-person style. Like obviously the art's a little bit different, but there's so much that just reminds me of
Oh,
So
I'm looking at the still shots right now.
So
and
what you're saying is that game is instead of Returnal, it's Deliver Eternal.
But anyway, no, I mean, it looks good. The price tag,
Jokes.
I think $70 on anything is a fucking hefty price tag. Like that's
It is, man.
It is.
It's
I
ridiculous.
100%. And
Yeah.
that's why I prefaced it with it's a $70
And
roguelike.
we've talked about this, and I'm sorry, like I'm not a fan of Sony, but I don't think that any of Sony's games are worth $70.
I don't think so
I mean,
either.
I think games can be worth 70 if
I
you
don't
are
think they can.
shit ton of content.
The only
$7
games I think would be worth 70 if it came out now would be like Witcher.
No,
Like Witcher 3.
I wouldn't even pay Witcher 3 fucking $70.
I'm
Fuck
just
that.
saying the amount of content like that you can get out of that, because I
mean,
go
if
by the
you got
dollar an hour. That's
if you
my
got all
rule.
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
If it came with like all the fucking
The game of the year.
DLCs and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
100%.
Like the
I
yeah.
will say that the two $70 games that I have purchased, one being Demon Souls, two being this one, they have both, at least from a gameplay and like quality perspective, have been some of the best quality games that I have played in recent memory. As far as like
for fucking $70.
them actually, yeah, exactly. It's. I feel like it's
But-
leaning more towards a
I-
get what you pay for type thing.
But the thing about that is that one of them's a remake of a fucking 20-plus-year-old game, right?
That is true, but
They want to charge you $70 for a fucking remake.
it's a from the top to bottom rebuild, but
I
it
don't
doesn't
give a
change. It
shit.
doesn't change. It doesn't change the fact that content that was $60 years
That's-
ago is now being sold as $70 because it
That's
looks
like
better.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like Blizzard throwing a fucking HD patch on World of Warcraft and making you buy everything and being like, yeah, there you go, pay us $120.
You know, what they do with Warcraft 3?
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
didn't even work.
Yeah.
Well,
The
cool.
Returnal is very good. It's
I'm
very
glad you
good.
enjoyed
People don't have PS5s right now, so if you do
Yeah.
have a PS5, it's really up to your discretion. I'm not going to tell you to get it or not. If you enjoy roguelikes, maybe look into it, but I do know that $70 is a steep price point.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
Yes, in chat, the game we're talking about, Returnal, is a $70 PS5 exclusive.
And
So
one
that's
thing
why
to
we're bringing it up.
one thing to point out as well, like you could tell me if I'm wrong on this or not, but from what I can understand, there's not really a lot of games for the PlayStation 5.
That's what I was gonna say. There really isn't. $70 or not. I mean,
No.
if you want to get games for the PS5, I think Returnal seems like a solid choice to go with, if you have the money to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
This has been the biggest things. Honestly, this has been the biggest release since the PS5 has launched.
Yeah.
I know that Ratchet and Clank is coming out very, very, very soon. I believe it's also going to have a $70 price tag.
Of course.
So we'll
I'm
see.
inter-
We'll see on that one.
And it's only first party games though, right? Like nothing else. If it's cross platform, they're not charging 70, right?
No.
Can I just say though, Rivet,
Did you just say rivet or rivet?
Rivet,
That didn't help.
Rivet.
Okay.
It's the female Lombax in.
I'm just saying. Don't cancel me or anything. I'm just saying.
You a fucking furry now?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying, man. I'm just saying.
I'm so lost. I don't understand.
Yikes.
New Ratchet and Clank.
Dangerous.
Yeah, the new Ratchet and Clank has a female protagonist
It's
as
a
well as
whammon.
it's a
Dude.
whammon.
Oh, okay. I don't know. They ruined
So
Lola
it's-
Bunny,
so-
so I figured it's a problem.
So it's interdimensional shit, and he's
Yeah.
been sucked into an alternate dimension, and the female, like the
The
Lombax
counterpart.
of that dimension,
Yeah.
is a female.
We'll cover that one as out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I will be getting that one.
Game
That
looks
one looks
good though.
amazing.
I've always loved the Ratchet and
Like-
Clank series.
Yeah,
I'm more a
that-
Jack
that-
guy.
I
Speaking-
mean,
I respect.
I'm hoping they will come out with one here soon.
Speaking of Ratchet and Clank as well, this is a good segue into a game that I want to talk about.
No,
But
not yet.
we're not there
Not
yet.
yet. We're not there yet, bro. We still got other games. We got to.
Damn it.
God damn it, man.
I can't wait for that though. Trust me. I'm.
Segue, though.
It is. We can come back to this. We can use this right now as a segue in the future. It'll be like an interdimensional future past
We
segue.
got a lot of things to talk about. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the other things that we've been playing that actually the whole group has played, so the three of us, myself, Enigma, and Scruffy have played together, and then Bill has actually played by himself, or with others, but not with the group yet. Is GTFO?
Yet.
So GTFO. If you're not familiar with this game, it's get the fuck out. And I'm not saying
No, you get the fuck
No,
out.
you.
I'm saying that's the name of the game is get the
No,
fuck
you
out.
get the fuck out.
But it is a cooperative survival, like I don't know,
Horde mode.
horror game. Like essentially, the process is what you're four prisoners that are loaded into this prison by the warden, and these monsters, zombie, plant, whatever else has taken over, and have turned other prisoners into sleepers, or these, whatever you want to call them, these monsters that shoot balls of light out of their face and out of their buttholes and vaginas. And that's just
It's what it is. It's what you
It's
gotta
what it
call
is.
it. I mean,
but the aspect of the game is it's fuck all hard. first off.
I could say what I call it, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, don't. But it's very, very, very difficult. And the other thing of it is that when this game first came out of into early access a long time ago, I don't know if maybe we didn't put enough time into it, Scruffy, or what, but I don't remember it being this good. I don't remember it being.
I don't think we played it correctly because back when we started playing it, we kind of ran in there and just fucking
Exactly, that's what I
fucked
was
shit
saying.
up.
Yeah, the beta came out. I mean, there was some obvious like bugs and issues with it, and the performance was a little less than preferred. But I mean, we definitely played it wrong. I mean, we went in there, I think, running into it like it was something like Left 4 Dead. Like we were like, all right, guys, let's do this. We're going. We were just trying to smack everything, and it just wasn't working out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just remember my time with it wasn't the fact that it was janky or anything like that. It was just like that loop to me wasn't fun, and maybe it's because I went in solo, and I cannot imagine playing this game.
The game's
Like,
not built for
Yeah,
solo.
not at all.
There's no group scaling to the game.
Mhm.
It's the same whether you have one person or the same whether you have 4 people.
I'm
There's
talking
no
about.
group scale.
I'm talking about what I mean. I'm talking about. I queued up solo, so I queued solo.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. But you
Because
still
of
had
random.
3 randos.
Right.
But you definitely need to
So-
have that communication and that strategic, because we had a lot of instances where it's like, all right, you get the guy on the left, I'll get the guy on the right, so you don't
You
alert
gotta
everything
bop
else
at
in
the
the
same
room.
time.
Exactly.
Except for when you had Plague playing with you, and then that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I will say, like, if I had
Love
to
you,
choose,
Plagued.
even though these are 2 different style games, right? You've got Back for Blood, Left 4 Dead, what Chad is talking about, and then you have GTFO. Though they are different, they are in a way very
They're
similar.
two completely different games though. Like
They're the same style of like
they
4v4
they
versus Horde.
they are, but Back for Blood or whatever it is, the Left 4 Dead 4 or whatever, it's more of an arcadey shooter. This
Right.
is more of like a realistic.
What I was gonna say is I lean more toward this. Like
Yeah.
I lean
Yeah.
toward this style versus then like Back for Blood getting in there. When I played Back for Blood, I was like, okay, this is just Left 4 Dead but prettier with
Yeah.
I'm a
some of the
fan of both, but I think this is sorry. This is more fun with, a cooperative like friend group. I think Back for Blood is something you could just jump into and just shoot away and have fun. But this is like that tense, that like
fucking difficult.
it is. It gives you that
GTFO
challenge.
is nothing like Last of Us, by the way. It plays nothing like Last of
No,
Us.
nothing.
I'm just saying in the sense of the style of like it being 4 people versus a horde. Like I'm just talking about like I'm breaking it down to its very 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 basic of what the two is. Like Left 4 Dead obviously is a arcadey. They're just gonna overrun you. You're gonna spray and pray. You're gonna always go loud. Where this is more tactical and things of that nature. But the style of 4v4, you've got to get from one place to another place. As best as you can and try
Yeah.
to survive. That's kind of what this
Yeah,
is.
and it really, I mean, it just always comes back to that communication and cooperation, because if one person fucks up, most likely you're all pretty much doomed, or you're all gonna get messed up real good. So
I mean, and what I will say is that the newer update to the game added an element of roguelike-esque to it, to where basically the rundown was what it's called would
Mm.
change after a certain amount of time. So like I still have yet to go look at the timer. I saw it one time, but I couldn't write
I think it's
maybe
every
it might
week.
be days. Yeah, it might be
No, I
days
think it's
or
every
weeks.
week. Yeah.
but like every certain amount of days the whole run will change. So
Yeah.
you're like your job is to basically get through as many runs as you possibly can to
Within
progress
that week.
your character to be able to get like add-ons and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you want to see as far as you can go. But once the run changes, then you've got to start back at the top again and keep going.
I will say, and I'm not sure if they're gonna like the further on down we go, the more like stuff we get, but like I do wish that we had a few more weapons choices, and I wish that we had actual skills that weren't like one use items.
The
Personally.
progression is lacking. That is
Yeah.
one thing that I noticed whenever I was playing the game before.
Yeah.
Is that it's fun to do a few runs with, but I had no real reason
like-
to go further.
Yeah, because like it feels like you
Yes.
don't really progress your character. Like your character is just there as like a vessel, and then whatever you bring out is what your character is, basically. Whatever I what are those things called? Artifacts? Yeah, artifacts. Whatever
They're
artifacts
the
you bring out of the
boosters.
characters.
The artifacts
Yeah.
transition into the boosters you can use
Yeah.
out of game, and yeah, that's about the only thing you really get out of the raids. And I think there needs to be more.
I just wish you could like specialize in stuff. Like I wish they have like the biometric scanner. I wish that there was skills for like longer biometric scans and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like I know that they have
there
like,
is
boosters for those.
the boosters.
But
I was
again,
gonna
they're
say,
just
but
one use items.
I
Yeah.
think it would be cool and I don't know because all the guns are preset, but I think it'd be cool to add like attachments you can bring out or something.
Customized guns, yeah.
And
So
maybe like I know we've talked about how silencers would break the game, and I definitely don't agree they should just straight up add silencers. But I think if they added like some sort of like attachments you can bring out of the raid, if you have like a really rare chance to get a silencer, I think that would be kind of cool.
There's
I think they
been
can
a
balance silencer.
that's what I was about to say. There's been a couple of games. What's it called? Fucking Ubisoft's last bullshit run with the island and the dude that plays fucking Punisher. What was that called?
What, Dead Island?
Breakpoint.
No, Breakpoint. Yeah, Breakpoint and those ones. How they do their silencers is it's like it's a limited use item, right? So like
So it'll
you
break.
bring it in, but yeah, the more that you use it, the quicker it breaks.
I think that would
think
Metal
work.
they
Gear
can
does
do
that too.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can tell you I did a little bit of digging on this game after we started playing at Scruffy, and just wanted to kind of see some more stuff as far as like what was
Like
coming.
a roadmap.
Yeah, there is talk that they are going to do a hunt, the hunt style, with your characters. So
So like multiple teams.
no, so basically
Like
no. So your
against a what's called a player enemy.
No. So your character is you get a character, right? And basically you can play that character. They have perks. They'll have different things,
Okay.
and they'll level. And then like you keep that character as long as you do until it dies. And then when it dies, it's gone. And
See, I don't
Okay,
like
so
that.
Hunt
I don't.
Showdown,
I still
gotcha.
don't like that. I'm not a fan of the way that Hunt Showdown's progression is. Because
I mean,
it's so easy to die in that game, and like you literally you get matched up with one bad person. Like you don't have a 4-man crew. You get matched up with one bad person, you're fucked. All that progression goes down the drain. Goes down
but I
the drain.
think they need to have some type of repercussion for dying. You want because I mean I don't
Lose items. It goes into that the same instances of like loot fear that Tarkov gives
brings,
you,
yeah.
right? I think they need to do something like that, like, and bring in like a crafting system for guns, like Scruffy was saying, where it's like you can make, you can kind of find gun parts down there. You can find guns inside the prison and shit. I think it would just bring a whole new kind of dynamic and dichotomy to it.
Yeah, honestly I wouldn't even mind if they limited the guns that we had now to give us a chance to like find guns.
Yeah, I mean again, it's not. I think the game is still very much in early access. There's still a lot that they're adding, and still a lot to go down.
Well, see, that's
I think the base game is good. I think
Yeah.
I think it's good for the sale price tag. I don't think the game is worth $34. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
right now. But I mean, as a game to get in there and fuck around and have a good time, there are some tense moments. Like
there are.
Oh
we
yeah.
had
I've had a
seven-
lot of fun the last couple of nights that we played it.
and the game, I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, man, they do a phenomenal job with ambiance. They do a phenomenal
Oh,
job
yeah.
with sound.
Dude.
They do a phenomenal job. Like you're in a dark room and you throw a fucking glow stick.
Exactly.
And it looks how you want a glow stick.
Didn't you throw a glow stick and like nail one right in the face with
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
done that.
Yeah,
But
like,
it's just such a cool eerie ambiance to the game, and it really adds to the effect of that tenseness.
I will say one of the systems that I really like in the game is the terminal.
Yeah.
As
Being able to
as
ping
a
items live.
as a person that's done like DOS commands and that's coded and everything like that, I find that enjoyable.
It's
very
it's
enjoyable.
cool. It's really cool. Like it's like you can have like a personal hacker on the team. Like you're our hacker, man.
let me tell you something, chat. So we we were playing last night, and I think even the first time we did it with Scruffy, like as soon as Enigma found that terminal, me and Scruffy were like off, like started to move off, going and doing stuff. I turn around and I'm still seeing Enigma's character.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
I'm like, bro, we're not even in that zone anymore.
Enigma's over here hacking into the whole mainframe. Like, all right, guys, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna find this.
But the thing is that if you assholes would fucking wait up for me, I could find this shit. You guys just
No.
go off
I
and
mean,
do your own thing.
we got it down to where like you were pinging stuff and we were getting it.
The one that pissed me off last night is I'm sitting there on the terminal fucking pinging shit off for him. I'm like, okay, here's box number, blah, 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 blah. Here's box number, blah, 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 blah. And then Sin fucking aggro's like the entire fucking floor on me. And I get out of the terminal. I get out of the terminal because the music starts going. It's
No,
like,
I think that was me.
Was that you? Well, whichever.
That was me.
one of you
I'll
assholes
take
it was.
credit for that. All right, that was me.
I get off my terminal, I turn, and they're just charging
Yeah.
down the fucking
Hey,
lane
man,
towards me. I'm like, what
there was a
fuck?
prime ass in my face to smack, and I was like, I'm gonna smack that ass. But then another guy was watching me, so
And he didn't like that you smacked that
he
ass.
didn't like it.
Yeah, so it's really good. It didn't get so Sunsprite's asking if it got an addition or whatever else. They basically added in one. It went on
Didn't
sale,
update.
and they did an update that made it to where the rundowns are procedurally generated, and they now made it to where uh, enemies respawn. So like
Mhm.
as you go through the level, you'll clear them out, but then there are these pods that you can't shoot, and they will respawn as you come back through. So
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't really like it either, honestly. Like that's one of the
Especially
big complaints that
considering
I
like
had.
the end. I don't know if you guys have actually finished a run.
We
We
have.
did. We finished one last night.
Okay. The whole like, okay, you got the item and it triggers everything and it's
Yeah.
basically like a running gun to get out. I don't like that there are now
Well, we
enemies
didn't
there.
take it as a running gun. We went very
Yeah,
stealthy.
we kind of just surpassed everything, and we only
In the end
engage
game?
things
In the
yeah.
end game. Because
Well, okay,
maybe it's
we've done
changed since you played.
one full run. We've done one full run of an area. We had to go and basically the first part of the area you had to go. Well, again, this map you had to go. We had to power up a door. Once we powered the door up, it triggered an alarm.
Yeah.
If we didn't go, we had to go then step on these certain terminals that would power down the alarm.
Mhm.
But that was basically a bullet hell at that point. It was
Yeah.
it was just horde mode. Then we went through another area. We had to find a bulkhead, turn the bulkhead on, and then we had to backtrack back to where
We had to
were
get to
at.
a certain
Back to the
terminal to
extraction.
unlock the
It might have just been the
override.
mission that we were doing because the end of the mission that I remembered playing through back when I first started playing it was as soon as you got the last item, it basically like red alerted the whole facility and it was like a rush to get back to the pods and get out.
Maybe that
Yeah,
was a
no.
certain. I mean, that could be a thing in future
It
rundowns,
might.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way we did it, and I honestly didn't mind, having the enemies come back down because it adds to because it makes you backtrack. It takes you all the way to the end, then you have to backtrack to the beginning where you
I mean,
started.
yeah, I would prefer the way that it's doing it with you guys
Yeah.
than the way that it did it because the game's not designed for you to run and gun.
I mean, hey, we played it as a
am-
run and gun last night, though. Like pretty much.
I still am not a big fan of the fact that they respawn, but it's a very minor gripe of mine that they respawn. I mean, it definitely makes the runs go a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, but I don't
But,
mind I don't
it's not
mind that it makes it
bad.
longer, but I think it just adds to the fact that you don't just have to run all the way back for no reason. It gives you a little
Exactly,
bit of
yeah.
a challenge.
Yeah.
So
If given the option between the red alert or the respawn system, I think I would take the respawn system. It just seems a little bit more fair.
Yeah.
but I can tell you, man, if you don't know, if you don't plan right with this game, you will get fucked
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
It definitely deters from you like just deciding to just wing it, like or whatever else. I mean that mid mission where we like that last door that we had to set that alarm before we extracted, where they're just coming in from
Dude.
every fucking angle, and like you're putting turrets down, but you're getting blasted by your own turret.
The
I mean,
turrets hurt, bro. I got down by them twice.
rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah.
Did they buff the glue gun yet?
The glue gun's good.
Because the glue gun was super duper weak whenever I originally
don't- I
played
don't-
it. It didn't spread very well,
Yeah,
so it
it
was
still
real
doesn't
easy.
spread
I
very
don't
well.
yeah, but if you use it right, like Sin did it good, he went like a horizontal across a door and it totally stops them for a good time. The seafoam grenades though, you have to time them right because they dissipate really
They
fast.
dissipate really quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, it's a fun adventure. I don't think I'd buy it for that $34. I would buy it when it's on
25.
sale.
I say 25 would
Yeah.
be a good price point for the game.
So
You don't want to pay $70 for that game yet?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
definitely not.
okay.
I'll pass.
Moving on to the next game that we played, which and actually I'll piggyback off this. This was another game that we played that was a progression game, but it was a BR, but it was like a PvP VE BR game. I think the game is complete dog shit.
Oh,
I do not like it at all. I think that it's scavengers, by the way.
Yeah.
I
You can
wasn't
go
happy with
download
it.
there are some people that are enjoying the game, and that's great. But I can tell you that what I don't like about it is it's the same thing, the same problem that I feel like New World has, right? Where it's like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's trying to be all these other things. The map is fucking cluttered. It's so much shit. There's so much crap going on, and then on top of that, like you just have a very, in my opinion, a very what I think is going to end up being a pay to win situation where people can just buy currency to progress time, to be able to progress your level, to be able to get you better weapons and better gear drops and stuff like that. Um, and also, it also too becomes into a situation where you're sitting at the fucking end of the game, and it's literally just, well, I'm just gonna sit here and camp out the drop point, and I'm gonna kill whoever comes near it. Like, I don't know. It just
Yeah, I don't know.
it
Yeah.
doesn't.
I'm all for it if you're enjoying it, but I personally didn't enjoy it all that much.
I
I can't give like a very specific reason why I didn't enjoy it. I think it's just an overarching hatred of BRs in general, but
yeah.
like it just didn't hit correctly for me, you know.
I think
I
that's the
think
same way I feel, and I was like really kind of excited for it too, and it really kind of disheartened me a little bit too because I was having a lot of issues with the game. Like you should have seen the issues I was having, and that's on my side. I gotta believe, but still, from what I've seen in the game, like it's not what I think I wanted it to be. I think
no,
it lacks a lot
to me, like I feel like there's
or
no
has too
need
much.
to be there's no need for it to be a BR. Like I don't.
Is it in beta right now or alpha or what is it
It's
right
in
now?
This is
beta,
a
I think.
beta, yeah.
Yeah.
You can open beta.
I mean, again, there's people that liked it, and I understand it, but like it
Yeah.
just to me, it's like the goal of the game is that you're supposed to get out with all this currency, and you can upload the currency, but then the end goal is to get off the drop, is to basically get on the drop ship. The purpose of it was that it's supposed to be able to deter people from just being a standard BR. So if you're good at like going out and killing, and resource farming, you can resource farm and get yourself, a win that way, right? Because that's the way you're gonna win. We went through an entire match where nobody was in the game.
Yeah.
Like it didn't
Well,
put
that
anybody.
that's a thing with the game, I believe. I think that was a server issue.
I played a game where there were people in the game and I didn't see a single fucking soul.
Not even an extraction.
Not even an extraction.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
see
don't
one.
know then.
So like, and they were people in the match because people were dying and I saw it stuff, but we never saw a single person. Like, it, I don't understand the whole thing of like why add the BR element into it. Like the PvPvE kind of thing. I don't know. It's just the map. I don't know. It's not enough players. The map's too big. There's too much going on. It's very all over the place. You have to manage your fucking heat. You have to manage your stamina. You've got to manage all of this stuff. And it's just like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I tried it multiple times. Like, I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, replayed it, tried it again. I did not enjoy
I
it. And,
didn't.
and I like BRs. I don't have a problem with BR games. But this just was not hitting at the right thing, which I think try it. It's free right now. You can download it for free and give it a go. But I also see the fucking pay to win like all over it. I mean, you can, because you get currency based. You can either buy currency or you can play to get currency, and the currency that you get, you then use to research weapons and things of that nature. Um, but you can spend currency to make that research happen faster. So like it's time, so it could take like 4 hours to research something. So you could spend real money to quicken that up and basically say, I want to insta do it right now. And then on top of that, the higher that your research is, the better weapon that you can craft. So and like chat saying, it's literally with hackers. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, why?
It was kind of a
You know?
disappointment.
Yep.
But
Another game that we played, we've been playing a lot of games. Was we just played this today. It actually, I don't know if you can still pre-order it and get into it now or
I'm
not.
pretty sure you can.
Let me take a look. I can take a look for you actually right now. It is called Hood, Outlaws and Legends. Yes, you can pre-purchase it and you can get into it right now. Um, thanks to I'm gonna give it out there. Thanks to Hey Tony in chat for this recommendation. Like I had seen it, but it fell off my radar. I had it on my wish list,
No.
but it wasn't something that really I was looking at.
I've had my on it for a while, but I never really looked in too far into it
I
until he was talking about it.
honestly thought it was a completely different game before I
Yeah,
seen what it was about.
single player game.
Yeah.
To be 100% honest. So this game is another PvPvE game, but
Done
they
better.
actually have their shit together. And it's a lot of fun. So it's based in the Robin Hood lore. It's 4v4. And the objective here is you are playing your merry band of robbers and
Friar Tuke.
thieves. It's Friar Tuck, you more.
Friar
Um,
Tuck.
it's you're
There's
playing.
no you in that name, bro.
Oh my god, you're playing your random merry band of thieves and killers and pickpockets. And the objective basically is that you're supposed to go and you've got to steal a key off of the
The sheriff.
Sure.
sheriff, who is a one-shot kill. Like he will, if he fucking gets you, and I'm not talking like, bro, it is this dude literally
Single shot, man. It's
spins
ridiculous.
you
He
around,
slammed me against a wall, bro.
picks you up by his. I play as Little John, which is this big buff motherfucker, right, with a hammer. He picked me up by my throat, slammed me on the ground, lifted his foot up, and shoved it into my face. And was down. It was brutal. Anyway, you got to pick a lock, or you got to pick the thing off of him. You got to go then open a vault. You then have to go and extract, carry this chest to an extraction point, and then extract it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, it's some of them. It is the most hectic fucking
It's crazy,
shit
dude.
going
As
on.
hectic as it is, it's not too much. It's
No,
still it's still you can like maintain it, you know, comparing
I
it
don't
to
know, man.
scavengers. Well, I'm saying like, you know, scavengers
Like-
had too much going on. This game has a lot going on, but it's you know what's going on, you know?
I don't know, man. That last one that we played, where we kept having fucking NPCs as well as them, the one with the corridor.
Oh yeah, I mean,
with that one was crazy.
it
dude.
gets crazy, dude. It
But
does.
again, but I think that's also too because we also went super fucking hot and loud in it.
Yeah,
Like,
we did. I know
because
we were pulling them into the area.
those first ones that we played with Tony before Scruffy got on, you know, we were going in and to explain it more, like you have a castle, right? So the map, there's 5 different maps. Each map is there's variations of the map, and you have spawn points that you have to capture that you can spawn at. Across the map, there's things there's like guards that are walking around that if you alert someone, it'll let the other team know where you're at. It'll also like they'll close drawbridges, they'll close gates, they're like start to call in reinforcements, all of this kind of stuff. So it benefits you to play sneaky,
Mhm.
but also too to like get in there and melee stuff. But there also are like ropes that if you have an archer, he can hit a rope that will knock it down that allow you to scale the wall and get over into the castle. Or if you have someone like Little John, you can go up. It has to be Little John can go up and grab the gate and basically lift it up and let everybody run underneath it and then let it down. You know, there's so many different elements to the game that you when you look at it and you're just like, from a small developer, I'm like, wow, I'm impressed, man. This is
Yeah.
it's fun.
Not just a small developer, but this is their first game.
Yeah. And
So
it's you know, and it's very very it's well done. The crazy thing about this game is that they have um they have produced a game that l- when on launch day launched fine. There was like a 30-minute issue, but they launched fine. We've had one or two disconnects, which you know that was about it, or whatever else. But overall, the game plays fine. It works. Like matchmaking is fine. No issues. Like it's kind of a shocker.
Yeah.
You know, it's a play, but
it's these indie devs, man. Like I think indie devs are the new MVPs of fucking gaming
They
these
really
days,
are.
man.
I was talking with Tony, and I think this all kind of goes to this like reason of this game was kind of a sleeper. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
it was not really on a lot of people's like radars, and I think that really benefited it because I think the game will still grow, you know, without having this beginning hype, and I think that helps even more because a lot of games nowadays they get huge hype. It just everyone like bloats it up, and then it releases, and it has all these issues because of the servers are just overpopulated, and then people bash it like, why are you doing so bad? It's like, well, what do you think is going to happen when, you know, thousands upon like hundreds of thousand people are trying to log onto the same server? You know, with this
Well, you
game, it had just enough and it worked fine.
like Apex Legends, where
Yeah.
season 9 dropped and the whole
And that's
fucking
EA,
crashed
bro. That's one of the
for
biggest companies.
hours, bro.
Yeah.
It crashed for pretty much an entire day.
Yeah. So
That
Entire
wasn't
day.
that wasn't just Apex either. The whole Origin launcher was bugged out.
Dude, every fucking
And
game.
Reddit was down that day too, man.
It, it was crazy, dude. So I was to say I played a little bit of Apex. I can talk some more about that. The 3v3 mode arena is awesome. It's a blast to play. I really enjoyed it. Well, I want to give Hood its due. Seriously, if anybody played Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow or Splinter Cell Double Agent, the multiplayer of Spy versus Spy, this has that. This also has a very much of a feel of Assassin's Creed. I think Unity was the one that
kind of. Yeah.
Not Unity. What was it? Was Assassin's
No,
Creed
it's Unity. Yeah.
Yeah, what was the one after 3?
Yeah, it's
Is that
Unity.
Unity? Okay. So it has Assassin's Creed multiplayer vibes to it. Because you can like get in the bushes, you can hide, you can whatever else. There's assassination mode, things of that nature.
We need the caw.
But like
There you go.
Thanks.
it's very fun, man. The only downfall I would say to it is like I I I don't know how the longevity of the game is going to be because you have to have 2 teams of 4 to even start the match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it can and like we were already having some issues where it was like trying to find a match. Now again, it's pre-launch, it's not launch day.
Yeah, technically
Well,
launch is Monday.
Yeah, that's crazy to me as well because like it's a cross platform, not just on PC with PC and Epic, but it's also cross platform with consoles too.
Oh wow, I didn't know
So,
that.
Yeah. Yep. So but there is a PvE only mode, but I don't know if you get money for it.
I think it's just a training mode. Yeah.
It's like a training kind of thing. And there's a progression system, there's perks, there's all of this kind of stuff. It's very well done. They looked at a lot of different games, they put a lot of nice elements into it. I'm telling you right now, if you enjoy like just if you want something different from a co-op PvP game, take a look at Hood. Like
Yeah.
it's really good. It really is. In fact, I will be streaming it after the podcast. I'm going to stay online and stream it, and I'm sure we're going to play some. So, but yeah, it's really fun. Anyway, Apex. Yeah, Apex came out the new season. I've been playing that. 3v3s
I
are
tried it.
very yep, 3v3s are very enjoyable. I like them. It adds a whole new element to it. Versus the standard BR mode. Bill, have you tried it at all?
Yeah, it's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
adds. I think it adds because like the battle royale to me genre just gets kind of stale. So adding that to the game, I think helps out.
Well, it helps out with like people like me. I don't like BR, so like now that that's got a 3v3 arena type deal, and if they push forward and make an actual like death match of some sort, I'll pick up Apex Legends. I don't mind playing it.
Yeah, I think 2 factors. I see it as a good warm up for BR. If you're planning on doing BR, you can go in and do a few of the arena matches.
They're
Get
quick,
your
yeah.
gunplay on
They
point,
can be
'cause
quick, I should say. Yeah.
They're quick and easy. Also, arena makes some of the lesser good legends, I guess, a little bit more viable because just by the nature of the match type, like Rampart's actually really good in arena, whereas she's kind of like the worst legend in the game in BR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
Um,
Watson. Watson's really good in arena.
yeah, it changes up that dynamic, and some of the lesser played legends actually get their time to shine.
Didn't they add a new legend as well?
Yeah, so they added
Valkyrie, and she's actually pretty balanced for the most part. I see no real issues with her as a.
She was really busted in the access, the beta access that they had. Like her rockets that she shot down were way overtuned. They were almost an insta down, like and whatnot. And they've toned.
I think the most they can do right now is 30 something,
yeah,
like mid 30s.
They deliver a good size like stagger stun too.
So yeah, the stagger's pretty good, but in the first rocket hits you for 20, and then I think each successive rocket after that's like 6. So it used to be so each rocket that hits you was a 20 damage. So
and they also did a really good job with her hover. Like her hover doesn't feel like overpowered, and like whether you're going against it or using it, like you're able to I've been able to hit her out of the sky pretty easily.
Yeah. And the fact that she can't retaliate until she turns her thrusters off either.
Right. So it's good. I mean, again, what Apex Legends does well is they do a good job with balancing. They've stayed on top of their champions. They've stayed on again, for the most part. Like you said, Rampart's still fucked in a lot of cases, but I think adding
she's the Tachanka of this game.
Yeah. I don't know what that would mean, but
so Tachanka is a character in Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, your favorite game.
I know it's
that.
I'm saying I don't know what that means.
That puts down a turret, or he used to put down a turret that you could use to like
Old Lord
aim down a
Tachanka.
hallway. It was a really strong turret, but it's the same factor where being immobile and locked down to one position in both of these games is detrimental. In Siege, it's easy for people to like get you from below, get you from above. In this one, it's just so movement heavy that unless they misplay or you get the big jump on them, you're not going to be able to get the most out of her ultimate. Same thing with the shields.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a Gibraltar dome where you have full protection all around you. It's if they just walk around you, then you're
How,
screwed.
how do you feel about the guns balance like in arena mode? Because there's times where I feel one, I
I
can tell you
think
right
the
now, I
bow.
can't
I
stand
think
a
the bow is
fucking bow.
overtuned.
Yep.
It's
It's
overtuned
gonna
as
get
hell.
nerfed.
There's no drop off. There's no
Dude,
fucking drop off.
honestly, that is my biggest complaint with it. I was so like excited for the bow. Honestly, the biggest reason I installed. I know, surprise, surprise. I'm a Hanzo maid, whatever, whatever. But I
You're a
was
fucking
so
Hanzo maid.
I know, I was so excited for the bow, and then I used it. I'm like, it's cool, but it's not what I expected, you know. And obviously, I think that
It's borderline hit scan, honestly.
exactly, you know, it's hit scan with some travel time. My biggest thing with bows, I need the drop off. I need the travel time. You know, that's what makes a bow for me. And obviously, it's a compound bow and whatever, so they're gonna say that's the reason it's hit
The
scan.
bow
But
does not suck in BR mode. The bow is amazing in like all facets of the game.
so
Like it's 70 damage to a body shot, 90 to a headshot.
yeah, it is good though.
And it is so quiet. In BR mode, you can get 2 arrows on somebody before they can even pinpoint where you're at, just because the noise from the arrow, it's real high pitch and you can't get a direction on where it was actually shot from because there's no like crack from the weapon itself. You just hear the arrow coming at you, which I mean is lifelike, but with that kind of damage, it's real frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's an easy way to fix it, right? Is add and like every other game,
Add
where
damage
Add,
drop off.
yep,
add
add
fucking
damage drop off.
add fucking just
Just a
travel.
drop off. Yeah,
Yeah, just add drop off across the board.
Yeah.
That fixes the fucking bow, or whatever else. Like, you
and
know,
makes it an actual bow and not a sniper. I mean, it's you can still use it for sniping, but it's not gonna be a hit scan.
I mean,
I will say I'm a big fan of the scatter shot or whatever it is.
Oh, the shotgun bow attachment.
Yeah, and it works for the 30-30 repeater, which was my biggest issue with the 30-30 was
Oh, can you get it on
if
the
you were-
30-30?
Yeah, it's for the bow and the 30-30. So if you are like doing your aim down pot shots, they push in on you. You alt fire to the scatter shot. Now you have a liver action shotgun, and
Dude.
it does like 45 damage if you land all the pellets. It's not bad.
I'll have to try that because this is like my first real time kind of jumping into Apex because I never really jumped into the BR, and this kind of encouraged me to. And I've heard some things, some opinions about the 30-30. I personally really like it. I think it's a lot of fun to use.
So they buffed it again with this patch. It's the scout and the triple take have their own weapon class now. They added a marksman rifle class. So while you're aiming down sight, you have more movement speed than you used to. It used to have sniper movement speed. Now you actually have like between AR and sniper movement speed.
Yeah,
it makes you a little bit more nimble.
The
thing with the
I've had the most
30-30
enjoyment
I don't
with it.
like is the fact that it's like the triple take in a way where the longer you aim, it like does a charge up and then it.
But I think it still does considerably good damage when you're not using the charge up feature. I think the charge up feature is a good engage, you know? Charge it up, pop, and then immediately start popping shots off after, from what I've used it as.
Yeah, I feel you.
The thing that I will say in arena, where is I don't know, and I don't know how you fix it in arena, but like a lot of times it becomes a situation where it's like, I saw a lot of one. I mean, we played with Pika, and I'm not kidding you. Almost every round we had, Pika had 3K plus damage, right? Because of that stupid fucking bow. But with anyway, it becomes a situation of like sniper and auto rifle, right, or some type of rifle, you know, and whatever else. I mean, we finally got into matches where like there was more strategic play being done, and we were able to flank and do things like that. But a lot of it was just like, okay, we're gonna hold high ground. We're gonna wait for the zone to come in so it can push them out of high ground, so that we can go in and stop doing the sniper bullshit or whatever else and actually play the game. But I don't know. I mean, I think arenas is gonna take off for that. I think if they really focus in on it, that could be a competitive mode for sure.
Yeah.
I think so too. It's got a lot of potential. I think they've done really well with the map variety on it too. And I like how they've done with the economy system where even if you are like winning your rounds, if you're not like resource gathering at the same time, then you could fall back. You could easily fall behind in the economy game and get stomped on another round just because you're under equipped.
Well, and that's the problem that I think CS:GO has, is where if you're getting stomped, and you just have no money. Like, you know what I mean? Where this is definitely more You can get money.
You can take a round, go P2020s all, go gather up all the barrels before anybody can get to them, and hope for the best.
Yeah. So no, it's good. It's fun. I think that's it, man. I think we covered everything that we've been playing. Is there have you been playing anything else?
No.
I know you've
I'm
been still playing Final Fantasy.
I'm still doing my Kingdom Hearts, but that's nothing new.
Yeah, I'm still playing Final Fantasies through. Returnal's been taking up a lot of my stream time, though. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends.
All right. So, moving on. We are now officially done with games that we've been playing. That was a lot, but I'm excited.
A lot of new
that we-
stuff right now, man. It's good.
New games, yeah, for sure. Moving on. Bill, take it away, man. Elden Ring. You got some news
Elden
for
Ring.
Yeah, I
us?
haven't
So
even heard about this.
so it wasn't from Software directly. It was from their parent company, but it is Elden Ring was originally projected to be a summer 2022 release. They are very pessimistic that they are going to reach that release window. It seems like it's going to be pushed to a Q1 2023.
No surprise there, man.
Was that
No surprise there.
was
with
that
the
just a
COVID
rumor
and
as well? The Summer 22?
No, that was something that the company had stated. They haven't set like a specific, like they're not going the cyberpunk route where they're going to set a specific launch date.
I
They
was
were
gonna
just
say
like
they shouldn't. Yeah.
It shouldn't.
estimated summer 2022. Now they're estimating Q1 2023. If they need to push it back, they will. But From Software's been radio silent. This is all from Software's parent company.
I think that's the best way to do it.
It is, and From knows this. From always does this, where they will not put a release date on it until basically the game's finished into their standard.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Elden Ring, it still exists. It's still a thing. And,
It still
I
exists.
really don't think it does, man.
Oh man.
I think they're gonna release and be like, just joking.
Nah, From Software will release it when they're ready.
Mm.
So, okay, moving on. This could be a little bit of a heated one. I think the next two, honestly, are going to be a little bit of a heated topic, at least for me. I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit down because I
Biomutant.
don't have a horse to stand on this one.
I'll let you take this away more, Enigma. You know a bit more than I do, I think.
I don't know. I don't think I think we both know equally. But
yeah, but I only just briefly watched the stuff. It looks good though. Have at it.
It's a Biomutant. I think we talked about it before
We mentioned
on the
it.
podcast.
Yeah,
but it's a new game coming out on the 25th of May. I've been looking forward to it. I've been keeping track of this since like 2012, 2013, somewhere around there when they first announced it.
that's a long time.
I think it was about 2012, 2013. It might have been 2017. Somebody came in the other day and said it was 2017 was when they first released information about it, but I seem to remember hearing about it a little bit earlier than that. But that's besides the point. You know, it's
Sorry.
what?
Fucking head. It's just all we see is head.
It's definitely looking like it's gonna be good.
I can't do this. I can't. All right, go ahead. I can't just get my face.
Sorry, I just saw Bill and I got so I had to.
It's definitely looking good. We talked about it before. Like I said, it's a open world RPG set in like a post-apocalyptic kind of I would
animal
say
dystopia type. Like
I would say definitely something
mutant.
like a. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it with Ratchet and Clank is because like somebody came into my stream the other day when I was talking about this, and they were like, "This reminds me of like a open world Ratchet and Clank,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Yeah, it kind of does, man. Like with the animals and shit, like kind of does. Like it's legit."
A furry world. You're not wrong.
Okay.
So I don't know. I personally think it looks good.
I think it looks great, man. From the combat to the exploration of the world, I think it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, the combat is the one that I was actually
shaking
really
his head.
surprised about. Like the combat, I was watching the combat trailer that they did, or the gameplay trailer that they did the other day, and it's smooth, man. Like
Yeah, dude.
like swapping between melee and the ranged attacks.
Yeah.
Fucking smooth as shit, dude.
Some of the abilities that you have, like it's
Yeah.
sweet. And the classes look dope, dude. Oh my gosh. So we just got shown the classes. They actually look like really legit. Nope.
I don't know. So, all right. Here's what I'll say. I like I I I watched the gameplay stuff that you were showing, Enigma. I have since gone and watched other videos on it. I don't get it, man. I think I don't understand why everyone is thinking that this is like the combat system you talked about. I think honest to God looks really fucking clunky. And I don't think that it seems smooth. It doesn't like it reminds me of like a jank knockoff version of Devil May Cry. And like to me
See,
that
I don't agree with that
dude,
because the guy that was showing that video trailer that I was showing, he equated it to like a slower Devil May Cry, and I'm like, no, I don't see it. Like
It
I
seems
really don't.
pretty fast paced to me.
it's gun into melee combat, and the only game to me that has done that like truly well is the Devil May Cry series. Like I think they do a very good job of that, and this just seems extremely, like I said, like it seems like a knockoff version of what it is. The other side of it too is I don't get like the to me it doesn't, it's not doing anything new. You don't have any real customization of your character type. Like you can change the color, you can change the fur, you can change a couple things, and they have stats which are cool or whatever else. But it's like it's like they took elements of Fable, they took elements of like Devil May Cry, they took elements of like you said, Ratchet and Clank, all these other kind of things. They put it together, but they didn't put it together in a well enough, like in my mind, a well enough like thing to make it actually good. I and like watching the boss fights that I was watching, I was like, this just seems boring. Like I don't like the boss mechanics of that fight. I literally watched that one where it was like the dude with the, it was like a big, I don't know, looked like a monkey with a mask on or something like that. And the entire fight, all he did that entire fight was just back up. Like that's it. And I was just like, this seems boring.
I don't know what you were watching, but because there was at least
You were watching.
four fucking mechanics right on that screen when he was fighting that monkey fucking worm thing.
And
Having to watch out for the tongue, having to step on the tongue to do damage. He had to back up to not get hit by the gigantic explosion of fucking poison that was coming out of his face.
And again,
Like,
I don't think that this is a, you know, it's priced at $60. Guys, today in today's world and today's thing, like where we've got games that are coming out like Hood that's $30, when we've got games that are coming out that are, you know, $20, $27, whatever. Coming out, if you're coming out with a $60 game, it better be fuck all great. And in my opinion, man, like what I'm seeing of this game, like for one, you know, I don't see the longevity of what they're going to be able to produce out of this, like extra content and things of that nature. You know, I know that they've got right now you can order it and get the game, and then you have a mercenary class DLC.
yeah,
With
I have an issue with the pre-order. Don't pre-order this game
Yeah.
for a one. Like, definitely don't pre. There's no reason to pre-order. So the classes, just break down kind of what the classes are. Classes aren't like specific things that you have to assign yourself to, right? Classes are just
A start, I think, right?
stats. Yeah, there's just like stat sticks, but
Yeah.
essentially the class that you choose at the beginning of the game, you can change at any time.
Yeah.
And all the classes do is they give you access to skills and stat abilities right off the bat. So like pre-ordering it right now for $60, not worth it. They don't walk anything behind the pre-order,
Yeah.
which is one thing that I'm like, I don't understand why they even fucking have it as a pre-order concept, but it is what it is.
it like I'm watching more videos of it right now. It honest to God, to me, it's like it's playing off of the whole of the look and feel of it's like, oh, it's a furry game. You're playing as these cute little cuddly characters or
So
whatever else.
that's why he doesn't like it, is because it's
Yeah.
cute,
No,
cuddly, furry
That's
characters.
it.
like I
That's
played
it.
games
That's it
like
right there.
games like, you know, WildStar or whatever else that had all the cute cuddly furry crap. I'm just saying that to me they're pandering in that way, and they're pandering to the art style. Like again, I watched a lot of the fight mechanics of what was going on, and it was just this over the top like cartoony style, and I'm just like that's what you
Yeah.
play.
So you don't like it because of the cartoony style.
No, I don't like it because I don't think it's
I
going to play as well as what it is. I don't think that the combat system looks that intriguing. I don't think the storyline looks that great. I don't think like the mechanics that I was shown looked that great. I could be completely wrong because I've not played the game, but what you showed me and the videos I've seen, nailing a $60 price tag with this game, I don't understand the hype. I don't get why it doesn't look like something that I think it's just another bland generic thing. And if it's coming off the back that Ratchet and Clank is coming out when does Ratchet and Clank launch?
It doesn't matter. This game's been in development for like
I know
6
that.
years.
But what I'm saying is, if it's coming out around the same time as Ratchet and Clank, which Ratchet and Clank is releasing June 11th, and this game releases May 25th. So it releases what, a week, a week, maybe 2 weeks apart or whatever else. I just like.
I'm gonna stop you. I don't see any crossover between the two. They're completely different things.
Legitimately, the only reason why I even brought up Ratchet and Clank is because it's a furry fucking world. It's just it just has furries in it. That's the only reason why I brought up Ratchet and Clank.
Right. I'm just saying, if it's going to be compared to Ratchet and Clank, and Ratchet and Clank is coming out on the 11th, it's going to get crushed. I mean,
I don't think there's going to be any competition, though.
I really don't think it'll be crushed, though. Yeah, because it's only on PlayStation 5, and not enough people have PlayStation 5s to play Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about from the hype perspective. I'm not saying that it is comparable.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I looked at it and was like, nah.
I disagree with you. I say that you have an opinion. It's a terrible one, but you know it is what it is.
Yeah. I think it's got a lot of uniqueness, which really makes it.
I think the most unique thing about this game, and I wasn't able to get into it. The most unique thing about this game to me is the crafting system. I think that the crafting system is what's going to push this game.
I don't even think I've seen the crafting system. How does it work?
The crafting system is like what was the name of that game?
It's mix and match parts. So
it's kind of like Dead Island. It's kind of like
okay, that's cool.
You can essentially create a weapon out of pretty much anything that you find in the world.
Like,
so the one that they showed the other day on the gameplay, they had he found like a fucking spritzy handle for a garden hose, right? And that was his grip. He had like
Dead Rising.
Kind of like Dead Rising.
That's what I was going for. Yeah,
it's you have several different parts that you can slap together, and it's made out of a lot of different parts in the game that you can pick up. Plus, you have modifications that you can put in. So you can put in like a toxic sludge, and that'll change your ammo type.
That's
from
sweet.
Normal ammo to like toxic. They talked about some kind of like cork. Like you can shoot corkscrews at people or something like that, like corks. It seems like a really fun time to me. I personally enjoy those kinds of games where it gives you the freedom, because and the other thing that they had on that gameplay trailer that fucking cracked me up is the first time that you saw like a two-handed weapon. It's this gigantic saw. You know those gigantic saws from the olden days where it took two people to saw down a tree. Yeah. Legitimately is that kind of a saw, and he just strapped a handle to it, and then he's got like a battery on it, so it's electrical.
Yeah, that's sweet. I love that sort of stuff. Like you were saying, it gives you that freedom to kind of just like explore and do whatever you want, really. Yeah. And I think that is gonna go a lot with like the exploration of the game and finding like those unique items, you know, to add to that, you know.
And it's got a very cool. I like the fact that it's kind of a looter shooter almost, where like you get these parts, you get these weapons that drop. There's rarities to them. There's uncommon. There's common. There's epic.
None legendary.
Everything
even.
like that. Legendary. Yep.
Yeah.
It's got all kinds of rarities in it. You know, it's got exploration that you got to go through.
There's lots of secrets I've seen. I think they're going up for a lot of secrets, and I'm happy.
I think it's gonna be a good time, man. Like,
yeah.
Well, hey, maybe I hope I'm wrong.
I'll agree with you on the price points. I don't think they probably should have priced it at like a $40 game. But I know with the time being, you know, it's and I don't think it's an excuse to price it at $60 because they've been producing it and developing it for, you know, since 2012, 13, whatever. I think they're going off that being the $60 price point. I don't think that's necessarily totally fair because it's just taken them that long anyways. But I think it could go from 40 to 60. I think I would still buy it at 60. You know,
I think the $60 price point is going to be in how long the game is. I'm hoping that it's a long title.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they've said it's got like 6 biomes for you to explore.
And if they're pretty good size,
it's got its own custom stories in each of those biomes.
Yeah,
you've got 6 different factions that you can ally yourself with, and each of those factions have separate. You know,
if there's a good amount of side quests too, that'll give it a lot of longevity because I get lost in side quests in these kinds of games.
It's
Yeah, I
got
don't know.
it's got the collection stuff going for it. You know, you can collect and create these little automaton dudes.
Yeah, dude, I
And
saw
you
those.
can actually customize those. So the
Dude,
one that they showed in
there's
the
a little rat, like a mech rat.
it was a little mech rat, and then this latest one that they showed, it was like this little tiny like mechanoid grasshopper.
Yeah.
Like you can customize those, and you can those have separate abilities that come alongside of those as well. Like you can actually have them go and do things for you, like unlock build doors and
Also,
collect
why
things and everything like that. So
not multiplayer? Like,
I think it would.
'cause
I think it would have worked as co-op. But me and Enigma were talking about this earlier. I don't know. We looked at the developer.
it's THQ and the developer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't think that they have the infrastructure to do a co-op.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on my stream. Forcing co-op on something is how you get Fallout 76. Like I know you were there with us when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Forcing co-op onto something, I think, is not the way to go these days. I
Huh.
agree with you. I do think it would be cool if it had co-op, but I don't know. I just don't want to force them to do co-op.
I would rather them release this one as a single player. And hey, man,
Yeah.
if it goes great and it works, I don't think it would be such a bad thought down the line for them to maybe do a Biomutant 2 being
Yeah.
co-op or something like that. That would be dope. I would be down to play a
And
game
as
like this
far
in co-op.
as far as your length says, the developer is saying that if you stick specifically with nothing but the main critical path, that alone is probably going to take 10 hours, but assume that it's going to take longer, then you have the rest of the world to discover off of that. So if you
Yeah.
just exclusively do your main path stuff, they're
Sure, you could
estimating
speedrun it
most likely
probably.
10 hours.
Mhm.
And that's going at like the fast speed, I'm sure. Of
Yeah,
just doing the main
like I
story.
said,
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm wrong,
I've been looking forward to it for a while.
So,
but I don't know. It looks. I don't know, man.
I can
It's-
understand your complaints and your worries.
I think Sin just doesn't like cute things. He's just adverse against.
That's why he
cute-
doesn't-
cute and cuddly things.
That's why he doesn't like
Well,
me.
That was not
Yeah.
cute. I'm gonna go in on that one too.
not even to like keep bashing it on that, but you have been like instantly
Very
like,
critical.
adverted
Yeah.
to things just based on like
That's
the game's
what
art
I think
aesthetic.
I mean that's not a bad thing nowadays though. I won't like it's not a bad thing to be super critical nowadays because if you're not, I mean that's why we're going to be pushing
I mean,
out
I
a bunch
agree.
of like that crap games, you know.
I'm not critical. I'm not. I could care less that the game is furry. Like I don't care about that.
No,
I,
we know.
to be 100% honest, I like the art style. I think it's a beautiful fucking game if it looks like this and whatever. I think it's beautiful, right? But I'm saying what I was talking about that I had the issue with was that the combat system looked bland to me. The overall like fights that I saw.
Well, and I will say that when you came into my stream, I was watching a video from like a year and a half ago.
I wouldn't watch other videos. Like
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
care about that. Like I watched other videos. Like
I'm just saying the boss encounter that you were watching was from like a year and a half ago.
We'll definitely have to
So-
see it more of like obviously when it releases. I think that'll be a big tell because I think, and I might be wrong, but I think they really have tried to hide a lot of the things. They didn't want to release too much. They showed you a little sneak peek of
Well,
what
they've-
there is, you know.
Yeah, they've just been like most.
a lot of shit. Like
What's that?
the Steam videos and stuff like that has a lot of crap. And there's a lot out there, man. Like you can find quite a bit of videos about a lot of this like gameplay stuff. You know, again, I don't know how old like some of this stuff was. It could have been.
Yeah,
From
It could have been
so,
from a
so
while
I was gonna say
ago,
is
yeah.
most of the gameplay that we have is just continual fucking rehashes of what they've already released.
Yeah.
And most of the gameplay that we have is from like a year and a half ago, roughly. The new stuff just released like literally yesterday, and I personally think the new stuff looks extremely nice. It
Think
looks
so,
a lot better than their old stuff.
I mean, again, I look. I hope I'm wrong, and I'm not judging it because of the style or whatever. I'm just judging it based off of the combat stuff that I've seen, and overall kind of mechanics that I've seen or whatever else. It just doesn't look like. I don't know.
Fine. I mean,
Look, like I said, it may be great. I don't know. It looks $60 is a big price tag. It doesn't look like it's that like it's just a beat. It just looks like a beat 'em up to me.
yeah. Hey,
think-
and
I
we can leave it at that, man. I understand you.
And the best part about it, it's got bullet time.
Yeah. That is pretty sweet. The
got-
bullet
it's
time
got-
looks pretty dope.
It's got actually legit bullet time that reminds me of the Max Payne bullet time.
Yeah.
Like, very very heavily.
So yeah, so that's that. Moving on to another game that I am upset about. and I'm sure I'm in the minority here when everything is Resident Evil 8.
You're upset about it?
I have no opinion
Yeah.
of Resident Evil 8, so you
I
guys
watched
can
some
have at this
today.
one.
I watched a lot today. A lot.
My only opinion is I think it's funny as fuck that they already have a mod out to make the big fucking vampire lady into Thomas the Tank Engine.
That is hilarious.
I think that's fucking hilarious.
Modders rule
And
the
it's-
gaming world,
and
dude.
It's fucking creepy as shit. I wouldn't watch the video of it and like the mouth
It's
moves and everything.
terrifying.
I haven't
It's
watched a video.
fucking-
Oh my
it's
gosh.
cursed. It's cursed, dude.
So Resident Evil 8, I actually had it in my cart ready to purchase. And I'm kind of happy I didn't. And I enjoyed Resident Evil 7. I liked it quite a bit. And I Resident my favorite Resident Evil of all time was Code Veronica. I liked 4. I didn't have a problem with 4, couldn't stand 5.
If you liked 4, I'm surprised you're not into this one as much.
This is
This is reminiscent of 4, dude.
absolutely not.
Are you kidding? Resident Evil 4 was one of the faster paced Resident Evils.
Resident Evil 4 was still a over the shoulder. It still had more Resident Evil.
Well, yeah,
style.
you're going from an over the shoulder to a first person game. They're going with the Resident Evil 7 style, but putting it into a Resident Evil 4 game world and everything.
Resident Evil 4 about this is the setting. That's it. Like
No, I think
Yeah,
the game pacing, the setting, the traitor, I think there's a lot that reminiscence of at Resident Evil 4.
the pacing of this game is so fucking fast. It's so non-Resident Evil. It's ridiculous.
I'll
Like
give
it's
it is faster. It definitely is because when I was watching it is almost like a run and gun, but there's a lot of points where it's not like that too.
there's not a in my like what I saw like this game was was basically going for the shock and gore element of what it is. Like you take this game and call it something other than Resident Evil, okay? Like
Isn't that what Resident Evil is though?
no, like Resident Evil is still about like the core, I think mechanics of it, the jump scares,
I don't know.
those elements.
I've always associated Resident Evil with like the shock and the gore. Like, yeah, the jump scares and
I
everything.
think
are
it combines
one of
both.
them, but
There's Resident Evil has gone through a lot of different styles of games, back from like the OGs of being a slow paced,
yeah,
third person, especially the OGs with the camera angles and whatnot. But then Resident Evil 4 changed the game, being an over the shoulder, faster paced kind of game. And I will agree, this is way faster than any Resident Evil has gone. This is they've even described it as more of a run and gun in some situations. Um,
It just doesn't look in my opinion, it doesn't look and feel like Resident Evil. Resident Evil 7, I think, did a better job of being a Resident Evil game than what this does.
I don't know. I think, well, that's just me. I think Resident Evil 7 was farther from a Resident Evil games.
Nah, I don't know, man. Like I think that it was like the idea here of being in this world, and again, I don't want to spoil anything because the game's not even fucking released really yet.
Yeah.
But like watching all of this and like watching the crafting mechanics, the gun mechanics, the like cooking mechanics, the
That was a
ammo,
bit weird. The
how
cooking.
much ammo is in the fucking world, the like the even the Resident Evil used to be a game and has always been a staple of a game of being a puzzle solver. Like at its
Mhm.
core, like what the game is a
Yeah.
puzzle solving game with the added elements of horror, right? The puzzles in this game to me were a fucking joke. Now again,
No, I agree with you with that. The puzzles, from what I've seen, they've been just pretty straightforward. They really haven't put too much thought into them.
and also too, like Resident Evil became a situation as where it used to be, and I think even still to like it's number 7, it was a game of how do we fucking defeat this boss? Like how do I defeat these enemies? Like how
Yeah.
can I go through? Like obviously you can blast them if you really really want, but how are you going to beat the boss or beat these guys? And every single one I saw, it was just like shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
That's shoot him in the fucking face.
Listen,
That's
I'm not totally defending this game. I just don't think it's I don't think there's been a Resident Evil game that has been worthy of the name Resident Evil since 4. Sorry.
we gotta get.
But I honestly don't believe that. I think even honestly some of the newer like rehashes of like Resident Evil 2 and 3, I don't think those are a good representation of like what the old Resident Evils really had to them.
And Tony and Chad, Hey Tony in chat is saying like True 6 was fast and run and gun style as well. So
I didn't like 6. I didn't like 6, and
I
I
don't even
didn't
think
like
I played 6.
whatever the one. I think 5 was the co-op one. I
5
did not
was
like.
okay.
Yeah.
5 was Resident Evil 4 with a lot more to it. You know, they had a lot
Yeah,
more
5
horde stuff to it and everything.
it was like a horde mode with a bunch
Yeah,
of
I
enemies
enjoyed
and
it for that, but I don't see that as a Resident Evil anymore. You know, I honestly, when they started adding these crazy like tentacle monsters and whatnot into Resident Evils and all this like, and especially in Resident Evil 2,
Bruh,
I was
there's
not
always been tentacle monsters.
there. Oh God. I was very like this stalker type enemy, like main enemy, like the big guy or whatever, Max or whatever his name is, and then the lady Dominiscus or whatever her name is. I'm not into that kind of thing really. When they
well,
started adding that, I really have kind of been disheartened
when
to
we
call them Resident Evils.
when we were talking about tentacles, we need to have that. It's all about the uwu and the
Ooh, the
ara ara.
ara.
Yeah.
so here's the thing, right? You asked me, is it really that bad? Bill says no. I just have my opinion, right? And I'm not. Look, I'm just telling you based off of what I saw, right?
Yeah.
And what I. Yes, you're right. It's my opinion. I have
It's a
played
terrible one.
the only Resident Evil I have not played was Resident Evil 6 and the Resident Evil 3 remake. That's the only two that
Yeah.
I have not. So I've played every single Resident Evil game. So am I going to sit here and say I'm a diehard fucking Resident Evil fan and like or whatever else? I'm just to say I am a Resident Evil fan.
I defer to you guys because the only thing I know about Resident Evil is the shitty fucking movies.
Those movies are
Those
gold,
movies are
man. Just hold
amazing,
your
dude.
tongue.
Come on.
That's it, man.
Yo,
That's all I know.
just
I
a
have
little
legitimately never played a
I
Resident Evil.
just a little note for anybody. They have just been added to Netflix. The movies just came out on
Oh
Netflix.
God.
Is well, you should
Wonderful.
buy them
Yeah.
anyway. You need to own them. You should not re-own the fucking things.
No,
They're
I would never pay for them.
masterpieces, please. Thank you. Okay.
No, thank you.
But I didn't I just I watched this game and I'm just like this is pulling farther and farther and farther and farther away from what Resident Evil is. You know, and I don't
Yeah.
you know, the vision of Resident Evil and I don't know, again, just like the combat, the buying, the stupid fucking like the trader comments, like sitting there talking to the trader and just like the one-off comments that he makes that are fucking inappropriate in a way of like goraphobia and like just this type of like
Well, you don't like agoraphobia, bro?
no, I'm just it's grotesque for the sake of just
Bro,
being fucking out
bro,
there.
don't be king shaming him. This is
Oh my
2021.
god, I'm like, shut up for a second.
we
Like
got
it's
we got some gore corn in here or something.
it's just it's for the shock value, right?
Yeah.
Where that's not what the even 7 was about. Like 7's like gore was there, but it was so well attached to that story of what 7 was.
Well, the one thing that I will say about like a common trend that I've been seeing with a lot of these like scary games and these like jump scare type games is I think as gamers we're kind of over the whole jump scare fucking old school Resident Evil kind of stuff. And it's getting harder and harder for these game developers to like make and game that gamers are like, oh yeah, that was scary.
You can't
'Cause
do it anymore with the style of gaming. Dude, Resident
You
Evil
look at,
2 had it down perfectly.
you look at games like Five Nights at Freddy's and shit, and we've got the jump scares left and right on that shit. I think it's just coming to a point where
it's oversaturated and
game
jump
developers
scares.
in general have to turn it to the nth degree in order to get a reaction out of gamers these days.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just don't think the way that Resident Evils are made anymore can work with how they used to. Like with Resident Evil 2, the OG one, the unknown and the like factor of like put the camera angles and everything of not knowing what's there. You hear a noise but you can't see it. That was the scariest thing ever. Walking into doors that were just black frames and you don't know if a zombie's gonna come out at you or not. Dude,
Or you walking through windows and having them like crack behind you and
Dude,
your dog jump out.
legit. Like that was the shit. But you can't have that in a game anymore with the style that they have.
I mean, I think you could, but like here's like General Pork Chop in Bill's chat makes a very good point, right? So movies did this in Saw. Saw 1, I think was really great.
Mm-hmm.
As they progressed, they're just like, how do we do it? How do we continue doing this? So what they did was they didn't make a masterful Saw 2 or sequel, they just upped the gore. They're
Yeah.
just like, oh, we just got to up it, up it, up, which I think that they missed on what people liked about the Saw movies, right? It was the psychological thriller of what that was.
Yeah.
And I'm only going to ruin one thing in this. And if anybody,
Don't. I would prefer you say nothing because
oh
I
my
do
God,
plan on getting in, and I don't want you to say anything.
I'm not. It's not a scene. It's not a.
Please,
Okay.
no.
There's an element in this game where something happens and what happens after the fact of what happened.
Also
Jesus
happens.
Christ, then why are you like this, dude?
I mean, I'm just saying. I didn't tell you
Shut
what
the
it
fuck up and
like.
just
I didn't tell you what.
come on. If you're gonna be spoiler free, be spoiler free. Don't. It's like the person that said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but boy, the ending made me cry." Shut the fuck up.
I'm not telling you the ending. I'm not telling you what the part was. There's just yeah. Anyway,
With a shit-eating grin on your face.
well, whenever you play it, we can talk about what that was.
Hey, by the way,
We will bring it
by the
back
way-
up after it's
by,
released.
by the way, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Just in case anybody didn't know.
You're lucky I just finished that series, bro. No.
I don't know. I mean, again, I just am. I don't know.
Listen, I think, like I said, like I don't think any Resident Evil since 4 has been a Resident Evil, and I think in its own right, it's gonna be a pretty cool game, but it's not to me gonna be played like any Resident Evil's ever been played, except for like 7. But I think there's still a reminiscent like factor of Resident Evil 4. I don't think it's necessarily a direct comparison to it at all. I think it just kind of takes back a few like nostalgic features that Resident Evil 4 had, and I think that's really all that it kind of gives to me.
I have a question.
Yep.
Did you say it had cooking?
Yep.
We won't get too much more into it.
Why?
Anyway, there's a cooking element of the game.
I'm so confused.
No, I think it's going to be compared to 7. And I think 7 is going to come out as the winner. Of the two, personally. I don't know. I think it's a game to watch. I think it's more enjoyable to watch the game than it is to what I would think to play the game. Personally.
I see it as the exact opposite with these style games. I feel like if you watch the game, you ruin it for yourself, and you ruin what makes these games important.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a medium to be experienced and not watched. I feel like if you watch it, you get a lot less of what is intended. Like, I feel like it does a disservice to the medium to watch it.
I mean, I don't intend to play it to begin with, so
I mean, if you
In
don't
that
intend to play
case,
it to
then,
begin
yeah.
with, that's that.
I
But
think that's the biggest
if you
thing.
like
I don't
this,
think that Sin actually intended to play it to begin with.
I had it in my cart. I was going to buy the fucking thing. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
okay. I forgot that you said that.
so he ruined it for himself, and then
it's not that I ruined it for myself. I mean, I did not go in intending to watch the entire fucking or the playthrough of this entire game. I didn't sit there and say like, oh, I'm going to watch everything. Whatever else. I had it in my cart. I wanted to see how it was going to do, and when I watched, the first starting of it of play, I watched probably maybe 10-15 minutes of the play, which I got a good amount of how the combat works, some of the puzzles, whatever else. I was like, nope, I'm out. This is a complete deterrent from what I wanted from this.
Did you play the demos?
No, I didn't play any of the demos. Like,
Okay.
I mean, but again, I'm basing off what I can see.
Can you play the demo on PC?
Yeah.
Okay.
How-
I think you could. I thought that
I
was
have
just on
2
PlayStation.
videos up with the demos.
How
on
do you-
PC.
I legitimately thought that was on PlayStation. I'm sorry.
Can I ask?
No,
I want to
the-
know how
so
Bill
the
feels about this
first-
game, because obviously you played the demo, right? So
I played all 3 of the demos. The first one was the PS5 exclusive. The Village
Okay,
and the
so there
Castle
was, yeah.
demo were for Steam and PS5 and
Okay.
Xbox.
Yeah, that's what confused me because I legitimately thought that the demos were only out on the PlayStation.
Yeah, only the Maiden demo is PS5 exclusive.
Gotcha.
so do you? I mean, I don't know. Do you think you're gonna enjoy the game, Bill?
Yeah, I liked what I played of it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a lot more to go off of than that because
I mean, I think it's gonna
don't-
be a solid game. I just don't think, it might be not what everyone's looking for, but I think in its own right, it's still gonna be a pretty cool game.
I see
I'll
people. The
tell
only thing
you-
I see about people is attacking the playtime of it, which Resident Evil 7 was the shortest Resident Evil it's been made, and it did extremely well. So
I'll tell you right now. I think that it's being made for today's gamer. Right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this a couple different times on the podcast. Today's gamer generally doesn't have as high of a attention span as like the gamers of yesterday.
Yeah.
So this one is being made to cater to the run and gun style that wants to get in there, shoot shit up, have a fun time, and spend like a couple hours playing the video game. I think that's what's wrong here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. Again, I haven't played the demo, so I have no fucking clue. I haven't even looked
The
into this.
demos had you only had access to shotgun, pistol, and knife as far as weapons go. Ammo is extremely sparse from the demo that I played, so you actually had to line up shots properly on either headshots or the tactic I ended up going for was I would shoot them in the kneecaps, run up and knife them while they were like.
That's how
while
I
they
think it
went
should
to-
be played 100%. Like, that's how like a lot of old Resident Evils were played.
And by the end of the game, I only had like 12 rounds left in my pistol, and
Yeah.
like from the end of the demo.
What's that game? What's that game that released a while ago that had the dude and he would like go into this white and black realm?
Are you talking about Evil Within?
Evil Within, yeah. Is it anything like Evil Within?
No.
Evil Within was extremely. It was made by the same dude who made Resident Evil 4, so
Yeah.
it's. I would assume that like. Yes and no, they're both horror genres. Evil Within was a lot more psychological, but
Gotcha.
it did have its actiony segments, just like Resident Evil 4 had its actiony segments. There was a lot.
Because that one seemed like it was a lot more run and gun as well. It didn't seem like it was very like
in at points of it, yeah. But
yeah,
This is more equivalent to like I'll say this: whenever PT came out, to me, it like changed the genre of what these games have become.
What is PT?
PT was the Silent Hill test
playable
demo.
trailer for
Okay.
Yeah, or whatever. And that's
you gotta remember, not a Silent Hill guy, you know.
That's what these become, and I can guarantee you that if PT does come out and or whatever it's going to be, the Silent Hill thing or whatever, that route, like I will probably have a similar feeling because again, it's such a divergent route from where like Silent Hill games were. And
Question.
Such a divergent route from where Resident
Evil. Another question: was Pyramid Head Silent Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm on the right track then. Again, I've never played any of them. I don't really watch anything about them. They seem like fun games.
The OG Silent Hill was dope. It had such a creepy ambiance to it.
I just don't think that they're my type of game.
So again, this will be the aside from 6, this will be the first Resident Evil that I have not played. Or whatever. But I watched Bill's.
I don't know. Do you think if you hear anything else about the game on release, do you think it might convince you to pick it up? If it's anything good that you might like, or you just can totally convince you're not gonna like it?
I've watched. I watched a lot of this game, and just because I've watched it doesn't mean I won't play it. Like, but
I think that goes for what Bill was saying. I think watching like a lot of the game kind of
it doesn't ruin
at least in a horror experience. Like you're still gonna get the gameplay aspect.
Yeah.
In a game like this that's so heavily based around story and
figuring, piecing it together
on the horror aspects, then.
But so again, it's not like I sat there and watched. I just want to make sure it's understood that like I did not sit there and watch every single story beat or whatever else. Like I obviously was watching it during my work. I was going back and forth between it, catching scenes and stuff like that. So I do not feel like I watched enough to ruin the story mode, to ruin the surprise elements and things that would come along, or the story at all. Right. What I mainly paid attention to was some of the puzzling mechanics, the combat mechanics, and overall just kind of the ambiance, kind of horror style mechanic that I would want to see in a Resident Evil game. And all of those things, Resident Evil 7 checked enough of those boxes for me to be like, yes, this fits. This one to me checks boxes that move it more toward the action genre that I don't want to play versus and being like more of toward that like 5 and 6 element versus being what I want to see in a Resident Evil game. So
I don't think 7 had that many. Like the hardest puzzles in 7 was trying to route around the family. I didn't think the puzzles in 7 were actually like anything to write home about. From what I remember, the only big puzzles that I remember were the shadow puppet puzzles.
I'm not saying that it was. I'm not saying it was a brain buster, right? I'm just saying it was. I felt I was more okay with that style of play versus the style that what I've seen in this, which is again very much like a run and gun, or not running gun. It's just a lot of a lot of fucking shooting and a lot of fucking like just in your face kind of stuff versus, you know,
Four had a lot of that too, and
Yeah.
four is one of my. It was my favorite game of all time before Bloodborne came out. So
yeah, I mean, 4 was my second to Code Veronica. Code Veronica was my very first, was my favorite one of all time.
but
Yeah.
saying that action is killing the franchise, I feel like if you
Well, I mean,
enjoyed four, well, four was primarily action, especially that like that third half of the game where you're on the island.
Mhm.
That was almost all action, unless you were like looking at the regenerators. Everything else was pure action from there on.
no, you're not wrong saying that was not it's not shooting. There's something about, again, I'm interested to see when you play it. We can talk about it more because again, I don't want to go into depth because there's stuff that obviously people will get pissed off, and I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But you know, I don't know. I both of these games, I was interested in, and I'm not interested in as much.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll talk. We'll bring it back up.
Like I said, that's your opinion. It's wrong, but it is your opinion.
Yep, and we all hate you.
It's very one-sided, which is on my side. Moving on. These last couple ones we'll be able to burn through pretty quickly because we've got like 2 minutes to spare.
Technically, then get questions ready. By the way,
Yeah, I was about to say, if you guys got questions, we do questions and answers at the end of every podcast. Try and limit them to kind of what we've talked about.
Yeah.
Or gaming in general. But yeah, if you guys have got questions, pop them in the chat, and we'll answer them at the end.
Discord and PlayStation integration.
This was interesting
Pretty
to
cool.
me.
I mean I'm for it. I was for Discord being an app on both PlayStation and Xbox. I'd love to see it cross platform on everything.
It's still going to be.
I would hope it was.
That's my biggest thing. I think we talked about them possibly going over to Microsoft. Microsoft was offering I think like 10 million to buy them recently, and they said no. I think that was a smart move personally.
Me too. Yeah.
I think they're worth a lot more than 10 million, and with them going to public trading, I think they're going to be worth a lot more than 10 million for sure.
I think I agree.
The biggest thing is like with them going to Sony Sony hasn't bought them. Sony has bought a majority stake in the. I don't even think it's a majority. I'm pretty sure they said it was a minor stake in stock.
Yeah.
So they have enough to make some, try and kind of leverage Discord into certain directions. But I think what you're going to see is Sony making this little, hey, we've partnered up with Discord. And then you're going to have Microsoft come out in the next couple months and be like, hey, we've also partnered up with Discord.
Yeah. And I think that'd be a great thing.
PlayStation's voice service gotten better since like.
No,
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I haven't used PlayStation Voice since PS3 because it was dog shit.
It really was.
To give it another chance.
I highly doubt it.
I just wonder because I wonder if maybe this is also a play for them just to be able to figure out like how the fuck do they make their voice.
Well, it wasn't just their voice. They released a thing on it the other day, and basically Sony released a saying, yes, it was about our voice. We want to improve our voice chat systems, but we also want to give people the ability to make communities on the PlayStation network and harbor like long-lasting relationships. So I'm guessing what they're going to do is it's going to be an entire integration of Discord. You're going to be able to like make your own Discord server on.
The fact that we don't have Discord servers on consoles, we have it. It's like having it's like taking Minecraft off of consoles. Be like, oh, we have Minecraft everywhere else, but not on consoles. Like,
yeah, I've been wanting this forever because I mean, it honestly will bring a lot of gamers together. It's such a struggle to game. Like, there's a few cross-platform games that I play currently, and the only way to really talk to my friends who play it on console is through Discord app on their phone.
No. Now it's going to be on their console.
And that'll be great.
Yeah,
and I hope to see it on Xbox too.
That exactly. Whenever I was playing through Demon Souls co-op with my dude Jake, we ended up going through Discord, and it just made it awkward. It's just really awkward.
It's just.
I think it's a good move. I think it's definitely a good move on Discord's part. They're going to force these companies to basically pay them boku bucks to get their
now just
their
fix your shit, Discord.
Yeah.
Fix your shit, please, with that money.
Can we please? It's been like 9 years. Can we please fix the whole having to run it as administrator to be able to talk when you first open it?
Why should they do that? Yeah. So next one, Epic Store info. So Bill, I'm actually gonna let you take this. You're the one that posted the story about this with the free games and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I don't remember where this like it's not a leak because it's
It was a
official
leak.
info for it was a leak.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a leak. It was a leak from the documents that were provided for
The Apple versus
the
Epic
Apple
case,
versus
that's
Epic
right.
Oh,
case. Yeah.
okay.
Well, in that it showed what Epic was paying out these indie developers or just developers in general to allow their games to be free on the Epic Store during their free
We called it
freebie
too.
grabs, and
I called it.
it showed that Epic was severely underselling these companies as
Yeah.
far as buying. Like the buyouts were significantly smaller than what a lot of people
And
would
yet
have
people
expected.
still defend it.
And the argument I'm seeing in defense of that is, well, you can't take these numbers of like players seriously because it's a free product. If it was
That's
a
dog shit.
price, if it's a price tag product, then the numbers would have been significantly less, and they probably wouldn't have made buyouts, whatever the buyout was from Epic.
That's a dog
Maybe
shit
with
argument.
a few cases, but I still don't believe that. I think with most
That's
of these cases, with most of these games, they would have made buyout plus more, especially Subnautica.
that's 100% a dog shit
Especially
argument.
Subnautica. Like,
Because
crazy.
if you're going to tell me that if they would have went on sale on Steam
hmm
for like 20% off, 20% off on Steam, even with the 30% cut, they'd still be making Boku bucks.
Yeah.
So this is saying I'm looking at this this tweet that you sent or whatever else in the table here. So is this Epic saying that their user acquisition cost per user this is what they're quoting the price at? So like Super Meat Boy, they quoted them at 52 cents per person.
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know I don't know the logistics of like that column specifically.
Because I mean UA is user acquisition. I would assume.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's
Epic UA cost is what they obtained, the price that they used for each user that they acquired on the Epic Game Store.
valued these things. And like one of the things I'm noticing is the drastic just difference in between us. I mean, you're talking about games like Celeste, which is a great game. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. Valued at $11 per user acquisition.
Mhm.
No, I'm sorry, $12 for user
$12.
Yeah.
acquisition. When you take
Inside is $11.
yeah, when you take something like even let's just say like I don't know, I'm trying to compare it to something like an Overcooked. All right, like I mean,
Look at Jackbox.
Jackbox Party Bags. It's fucking 50,
Fourth row.
64 cents, I think. I don't know, man. That's insane to me. And like the buyout costs, so is saying that they paid them 100. They paid them 60 grand, dude. Like
That's chump change, dude.
I don't know, man. It's
I personally think that if they would have if they wouldn't have went to given Epic that ability to do that, they could have done the exact same thing just to put it up on sale on the Steam or whatever other competing fucking game provider service that you want to go to, right? They could have made. I mean, alone, they bought out Subnautica for 1,400,000. Alone, Subnautica. I'm not. I can't prove this obviously because I don't have the prices for Steam, but I'm willing to bet that Subnautica would have probably made double that easily.
I would say.
I see if I can look at how many. So they've
My dude's Mutant Year Zero got a milli too.
Yeah.
the game has Subnautica has when was this as of January 15th, 2020. When did this thing on Steam happen? Or when did they buy them out? They bought them in 2018.
This is all
2018, 12,
2019.
14, 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 million sales.
Yeah.
5 million units. Now, again, I don't have a breakdown to see how many of those. I'm trying to find a breakdown of how many of
Well,
those.
Epic Game Store made 804,000 new accounts. So that was, as far as I can tell from this document, they got 804,000 people to download Subnautica and put
That's
it in
just
their,
new accounts made from that, though. That's not
Yep.
pre-existing accounts that claimed it as well.
They only made 17% worth of new Epic accounts.
Yeah.
So I believe that is the entire account. That is all the accounts, or that's all the new the new Epic accounts. As of that, they don't actually have how many Epic entitlements or whatever actual existing accounts were on there. That's just new accounts. Okay.
Yeah.
So the entitlements then, is this how many accounts were created, or how many
accounts? That's how many accounts I think were created during the time of the free sale.
This can't be right, because this is saying that Subnautica had 4.6 million.
Well, that's taking into factor all the pre-existing accounts too.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe.
I don't know.
I think
I mean,
the 800,000 plus all the pre-existing accounts
through just it couldn't have gotten 5 million fucking downloads just from fucking Epic. That's impossible. Like, there's no way.
I don't know, man. This was after, I mean, the blow up of Fortnite and all the shit, right?
Okay, so
in 2018 now.
Yeah, here we go, right here.
2018 was
followed Unknown Worlds Cleveland clarified sits at the total number of copies sold sits at 5.23 million units. That is strictly from PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox platforms, without the consideration of the 4.5 million Subnautica downloads that Epic that from the Epic promotion.
Yeah.
They got 4.5 million more users from the Epic download. They almost matched what they've done in sales. Free. So
Oh no,
yeah.
they matched the amount of people playing the game. They didn't match it for sales.
No, they matched unit for unit. Like how many
free units compared to how many paid units?
Out, but they didn't match it for sales. I'm willing to bet.
So my thing is the argument here, basically what you're saying, Enigma, is that if they would have just gone into Steam and fucking slashed
the price, I think they would have made a lot more than $1
million. They wouldn't have made, they wouldn't have had 4.6 million downloads, but they still would have had a big fraction of that.
Well,
you still would have made money.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. This is some I think there's some games on here that did do well for them, like the
100%.
Yeah,
Subnautica did very well for them because it's a popular game. Like 100%, they did a very good job with obtaining that as a free title.
But I can't
awake over there, Billy.
I'm looking down at my phone, looking through.
Can you answer this question on the board, Billy?
I think and they didn't pay Metro anything. Why did they not? They didn't buy them out.
That one's a unique case. I can't remember what the reasoning for that is, but that data is not available for one reason or another.
Metro just gave themselves up.
Oh, Metro was that the new one?
That was the Redux. That was the remaster of 2033.
Okay, that was the old one. Okay.
And but I think the Redux, I don't know. Did the Redux have both Metro Last Light and 2030? Or just
Lego?
Possibly.
I think it had both.
I think it does have something to do with that bundle. So
yeah,
dude, if I was
17,
I'd be pissed, dude. I'd be fucking livid. They almost did the
same. Redux had both. That's what I thought.
They did $1 million under Subnautica. They were right in there as the top, and they only got paid $225,000. Like,
which one?
Overcooked.
Oh, Overcooked. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. Or like,
I don't know, man.
It's nuts. I don't know.
This is on. I don't know. I don't like the fact that this is how much they paid, and I'm willing to bet that you would have made more if you just would have fucking.
Yeah, like I said, there's a few cases. Yeah, sure, it probably benefited the developer, but still, I think a lot of this they bought a lot of these developers out for just chump change to compared to what they would have made.
I mean, pennies on the dollar for user acquisition. I mean, that's exactly, to me, that's what it looks like.
And we know for a fact that this whole free games has not worked out for them. They've lost billions. We covered that before on a previous podcast. I think they've lost like 27 billion.
1.74 times
or some shit like that. It might have been million. I'm not sure, but
they just do it to get a cheap buyout and just to get new accounts.
So the way that they basically do this, and I don't know if it's even talked about anywhere in this stuff, is basically what they did was they took and they evaluated. They didn't just go up to Subnautica and say, "Hey, we're going to give you $1.4 million." That's not what happened. Yep. They went in and said, we're going to give you $1.74 for every single person that downloads this game. So I think people are thinking that they walked up to these companies and said, "Hey, here's a shit ton of money, right? Have at it." And you get that money. It's not. If you take the Epic user cost of $1.74 times the amount of accounts that were done, it broke out to 100 or basically 1.399 million. So they rounded up
Yeah.
to 1.4 million.
1.4.
So
Crazy.
they're saying to these companies we're going to give
Your
you
game is only worth
we're going to give you
$1.74.
That's
52 cent on the dollar. We're going to give you 52 cent on the dollar for every single person that goes and downloads your game. But you're gonna, so hope to God you get a bunch of free downloads, but you're gonna make, and I guarantee what the pitch was you're gonna make a shit ton of money because we're gonna give you, so many people are gonna download your game. Whereas in Super Meat Boy's case, they didn't make shit.
yeah.
Which is
They probably started going to developers after developers could see how many downloads Subnautica got. They started it out with the big bang of Subnautica, and they're like, "You're gonna do this," when in reality, they're not gonna do that.
how much money has Celeste made? Sorry guys, I know we're going really deep in this, but this is at the crux and the core of what is wrong with with the gaming industry as a whole. How much money has Celeste made?
It's just insane to me, man. It really is. And the information that's been coming out from this Apple versus Epic is fucking. I was going over it with Scruffy earlier.
Yeah,
And just going over some of the information.
it's sad, dude.
I
It's
posted a few things in the chat.
so stupid.
People ask me why I hate Epic and why I hate Tim Sweeney. It's these kinds of comments right here. So they had leaked documentation from of actual back and forth between Sony and Tim Sweeney, and like this is the shit right here. Sony's interoperability, basically they're not wanting to push out into and open up crossplay, right? Restrictions that both put our companies put both of our companies in an untenable position adversarially to our customers. Many Fortnite players are kids, and their friendships are being torn apart by Sony's segregation of players on competing platforms. Frankly, we do not believe Sony's position is even legal. Please understand that Epic firmly believes that this action is a matter of legal right and moral duty, and that I am conveying this to you following extensive deliberation and legal analysis across several continents with Epic's board of members and major investors, and that we are prepared to pursue any course with all available resources wherever it leads us and however long it takes. So Epic is threatening Sony that if they don't open crossplay, they're going to hit them with the biggest legal book that they possibly can find.
And they can't do that.
And then people are also pointing out that they believe that Tim Sweeney's hypocrisy is a hypocrite, because he is.
Mm-hmm.
It says that in August 2020, he had tweeted, Sweeney said that the battle with Epic and Apple was not them seeking a special deal, but instead of that, inside the basics of it was a basic of freedom of all consumers and developers, right? But in court, Sweeney is reported to have said that he would have indeed taken a special deal with Apple. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy and the self-righteousness of this man in this company.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm figuring the math on Celeste real quick. So I figured out that Celeste is sold 500. Well, they sold actually 1 million units. I'm just going off of 500,000 units to give a very fair bank to say that 500,000 units is sold for $20. 500,000 units at $20 is a $10 million valuation. If I take out the 30% cut that Steam takes, they made $3 million on those $500,000 worth of investment or worth of sales. Here, they had 3 million downloads, and they made under $1 million. They made $750,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they evaluated it at $12 per user acquisition, divided by 3 million.
Now we getting deep into this, boys.
Yeah.
They should have been valued at if my math is correct, which I don't see why it would not be. They should have been valued at $21.72 per user.
Yep.
Just to give you an idea. Sorry.
And that's probably the case with a lot of these games.
This kind of stuff interests the shit out of me, man, because this is the stuff that like sales evaluations and things like this, where people get stuff wrong and it really fucks over a company, and people think that they're getting something great and they're really not. And yeah, I don't know.
And that's why I'm saying that whole argument is just dog shit. I'm sorry, I can't believe that argument at all.
Yeah. And in revolt, and kind of, we're gonna cut the last two or the middle two, but the last thing to basically kind of bring up here is that and this has to do with Epic. The United States government is basically looking at forcing, or they've actually put into place to force Tencent, and Tencent is now going to legal to try to stop it from happening, but basically forcing them to divest their shares in Epic and Riot. They are saying that they own too much in this space. So
Own too
interesting.
much.
I
They
think
do.
I think if it's gonna be, it'd be interesting to see if Tencent actually, how much money Epic is making off of Tencent. Like Riot, whatever. Riot makes fucking shit tons of money. I'm wondering how much money can Epic afford to lose Tencent? Like, can they really afford to lose that much money?
I don't know.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe one day we'll live in a world where there's not Fortnite.
Maybe
That would
man.
be nuts, bro. That would be
I
crazy.
I don't think we're gonna have it on the Apple Store. Honestly, I don't think that they're gonna win this battle against Apple.
I don't think so either. Free Fortnite, free Fortnite.
Yeah, don't get me started with that. So apparently one of the on the opening sequence of the Apple versus Epic, they had I think what was it, like 200 people or 20 something like that. They had
Yeah.
a lot of people watching the Zoom call, and somebody in the fucking court didn't mute everybody. So when the court case started, you had 200 plus people screaming free Fortnite, free Fortnite, free Fortnite, and then like you got the one guy in the background, hey bros, check out Chick Slayer 55 on YouTube, you know, shit like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that went on for 20 minutes until they figured out how to mute everybody in the fucking Zoom call.
Yeah. But that just shows you, dude, Epic's and Fortnite's community and how their maturity levels. In a freaking courtroom, like a Zoom court case.
Hey man, I'm not a cat. I'm not a cat. Never mind. Nobody knows who that's from. Anyway, it's all right. Yeah. Do we have any questions? Anybody,
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Nope. 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 Okay.
None that I've seen.
I have one question. Do you guys think that Cyberpunk 2077 will ever show back up on the PlayStation Store?
I think it will.
I forgot about that. I don't know. Maybe.
I think it'll show up on the PS5 store. I don't think they'll ever get it patched up for the PS4, honestly.
I don't know. I think it will. It'll take a while, I think, but
I don't know.
Do
Unless they
you
drop
think
it.
the lifespan of the console will have left by then? I mean,
Probably.
the PS4 is still
Yeah.
very, very relevant with
more than likely, yeah.
But once
Speaking of
PS5,
PS5,
The question I have for you on that topic is how much longer of a lifespan do you think the PS4 has?
I think it'll have a
Because
lifespan.
I think the only reason why I think the only reason why the PS4 has a lifespan that it
'Cause the
currently
stock,
has is because people
shortage.
can't get PS5s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of PS5s, I was actually going to bring that up in just the passing. Sony's actually considering, I can't remember what the phrasing of it was, but they're considering design changes to the PS5 to alleviate the pressures of making the consoles
I don't know. I don't
like
know how
getting
that,
them available. I don't know
PS5
what
is
that
gonna look like the
means.
new Xbox.
I don't know.
It's gonna
how
be
they
a
do
box.
that, considering they need silicone for chipsets, and that's one of the major fucking.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what that specifically means, but they're looking at alternative designs for the
Gonna be made out of-
PS5 to be able to meet consumer demand.
Get made out of shitty plastic that they've recycled.
Yeah.
they
Just
gonna-
send you a freaking cardboard box with a CPU patch in it.
Bill, do you have the horizontal stand?
Yeah.
Does it? I heard people. Does it sit okay on that
You-
thing? Because I've heard people it fucking topples over on that.
Horizontal or vertical is it. The system comes like the little disc stand works for
Yeah.
both of them. I've got mine sitting on carpet, and I've never had it even like. I'm grabbing the fin.
Is it
and,
safe
like,
on
moving it
carpet,
right
dude?
now.
It's PS4
It-
turned into a freaking jet engine. I'm scared what the PS5 is gonna give it like a few
Nah.
years.
Well, this thing's quieter than the PS4 was.
Just
So
give it a few years.
Well, I wonder-
Maybe.
I had a couple of people that said that it was they had it horizontal, and like if they bump the fucking desk, man, that thing just goes go go go.
Oh shit! Horizontal. My axes are wrong. No, I have mine vertical. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, it was, well, don't worry about it. I was saying if you could try it vertical, horizontal, because I just want to, because like somebody said that like literally the way it has to sit there's nothing that locks it in place when it's sitting horizontal.
It's just
So
supposed to balance.
it's just like, yeah, balancing on it. And that you could go by and just basically like bump your desk and the whole thing just goes.
Probably, yeah.
That checks out. I don't see any like latching spot. I think it like clips in like
Real
the
time,
stand. I
boys.
think
Dude,
the stand like fastens into like the casing,
I
but
mean,
like it doesn't have like any like latch. It basically just kind of like
ba-
sits onto it.
back to when we had to watch like the PlayStation like reveal, we had to dig deep to find it even on its horizontal.
Yeah.
You know,
It was like one frame.
one
inside the video.
frame.
It looks too good to be horizontal. It should be a vertical system.
Yeah.
Yeah, vertical. I think that's the better route for it for like the cooling.
Did you
aspect of it,
know?
too.
Did you know when you if you turned a PlayStation 2 on its side, you could twist the little PlayStation logo and it turns upright?
Holy shit!
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So if you put a PlayStation 2 vertically, the little
Dude, I
PlayStation
was
symbol,
like, what?
you
I
can
didn't know. Yeah,
twist the symbol. Yeah.
Thanks, Jesus Christ.
Just a little tidbit.
Anyway, all right, cool. Guys, that's it. Episode 34 is in the books. It's wrapped up, all nice and tight for you. We had a little bit of a longer show, for sure. To anybody that has questions, also, I know there were some very, very beginning questions at very, very early stages. Yes, I did watch anime. No, we are not talking about it right now. I watched SAO 1, 2, and 3, or like episode 1, 2,
1,
3.
2, and
Actually,
3.
and 4, and I think 5. I think.
It's farther
So,
than I thought you were gonna drop it at like 2.
Are you planning on
Same.
watching the other ones?
yes, I'm gonna meet my commitment of watching the other series, which is hold on.
Brotherhood.
Helsing or
Hold on. Fuck. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and was it Helsing? Was that the other one?
Yeah, Helsing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, those.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll talk about that later on.
on another after show.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys all for being here. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Make sure if you had to drop out, you guys can go check us out on the Spotify's and the YouTubes.
New episodes will be up soon on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
We'll get caught up on that.
Bill and to Enigma and to Scruffy for being here and hanging
Thank
out
you, sir.
and putting up with my dumbass.
Thank you, sir, for having opinions that we can ridicule you on.
Yeah, of course.
I hate you guys.
I accept my role of being the ass on this show. I don't know where I sit. In any case, y'all have a wonderful night. We'll catch you guys later. See ya.
Doses.
Bye.